would not like each other, and they still would want this football game just as badly.
These are really arguably two of the most historic tradition programs in the entire state. It stems back from Coach McKissick, Coach Ray Stackley on the Stratford side. These two teams do not like each other, and we are in for a good one tonight.
Stratford got on track last week. They beat St. James. Their defense led the way. Senior linebacker Markel Holman, not the biggest guy in the room, but might be the toughest. He's one of those pound-for-pound guys you want a team full of.
You know, we talked with strength coordinator Zach Sabravi. He said that Holcomb might be pound-for-pound the strongest guy on this team last week in a big moment in the game, 4th and 2. This is a linebacker. Turn to him on 4th and 2. He's going to pick up those 2 yards for you. He's going to get it done all over the field tonight.
The Summerville defense has led the way for the Green Wave in their 4 wins this season. Big reason why senior cornerback Michael Jenkins, he's the lockdown guy outside.
People rave that he might be the most dynamic athlete in the Low Country. Expect to see some explosiveness out of the secondary today because he's going to make life difficult for that Stratford offense.
One of those football, basketball guys, really talented athlete. He's going to showcase himself tonight. Rivalry game in the Low Country tonight. Wednesday night rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet, and we do have a rivalry. I-26 schools about 6 miles apart. Stratford, Summerville, the kickoff is next. Yes. I do not. Do you want to talk? Do you want me on program? Or you want me to talk back? I don't know if Max Preps is correct. Summerville is.
That's correct.
Correct. Correct.
They went to a break for 2 minutes. It's going to be back. Well, I know, but normally the teams are already on the field ready to go by when we come back. Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's what I mean. They're way behind. Hurry up. I thought you meant us. Yeah, no.
Stratford wins the toss and is deferred to the second. This is your ally. You really adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it.
One of the great settings for a high school football game, Summerville High School, Summerville, South Carolina. They play host to a nearby rival, the Stratford Knights. Friday night rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet, brought to you on a Wednesday night. Hurricane Ian on its way. We are at John McKissick Field, named after the winningest high school football coach in history. 621 career wins, 10 state titles, 3-time Coach of the Year. There's a good look at Stratford's head coach, Denny McDaniel. In his 5th season at Stratford, played at Stratford, and also played at Charleston Southern. And for Summerville, Ian Rafferty. In his 3rd season as the head coach of the Green Wave, has a really rich football history. Played at North Carolina State, played in the NFL for the Titans and the Jets. 12-10 overall here. Probably has his best team this season. This team, Summerville, really headed in an upward trajectory. What an awesome setting for high school football. They have all the bells and whistles, the video board, the LED lights. It might be Wednesday, but it feels like Friday night. Zeke Beam, Jack DeLongshaw, Trooper Bob on the field, just about set for the kick of the Knights and the Green Wave.
You talk about tradition, high school prestige. These two teams might be the best in the low country. And let me tell you, you're right, Zeke. It don't matter if it was 8 o'clock in the morning. These guys are ready to roll.
Stratford will hit the pooch, fielded at the 31, and that is where the Green Wave offense and Campbell McCurry will go on offense. McCurry, baseball player as well as a football player. Really getting his first full season of high school football. Started 3-1 as a sophomore before breaking his collarbone, but getting his first full year in this Summerville offense, coming off its best game of the season, 56 last week in the win over Goose Creek. Direct snap to start this one, and that's actually straight ahead Marquez Spells. Take that back. Yannick Smith snuck into the backfield there. He'll pick up about 8. And here's a look at our Summerville starting offense. McCurry, the quarterback, Spells, Smith, Glenn, Pettiford, and Taylor. That's a really talented group of skill guys.
And here's the deal. For Summerville, it's pretty clear. Campbell McCurry, it's a guy who's been in the Summerville program since he could walk. You know, for him, he played, a baseball player. He's got the rich background.
Couple of big runs early for Summerville, bouncing this one outside and getting the edges Spells, and he's chased down inside the red zone, just like that. And Mr. Sparky first down for the Green Wave. Couple of big pops and Summerville knocking on the door.
Well, we were going to talk about Campbell McCurry, but first and foremost, there's your Boone Hall Fright Night red zone. Make your screams come true, folks. But I mean, come on, that Stratford defense might be screaming here early and often. We haven't even got to talk about this offense, and we're already down here in the red zone.
You feel like you got to mention the offensive line after a run like that, but they're moving so quickly. Spells in motion, direct snap. Smith reverses direction. He'll pick up 4 or 5 before he's chased down. Let's mention that offensive line real quick. John Corley, Drew Inhabitant, Adam Traylor, the rock-solid leader in the middle. Jadario Lott, Reggie Pinckney. He might be the best of the group, consistent and talented at right tackle.
And on that right side, they are big, and they are mean, and they're going to block up front big time. But I promise, folks, we talked about McCurry playing quarterback. A little wildcat here early and often today.
Boone Hall Fright Night red zone. 2nd and 5 for Summerville. Opening minutes of the football game. Wednesday night special for Friday night rivals. Student body left and Spells eaten up, and he's going to be stopped for a loss. Nice job of getting uphill by that Stratford defense. Markel Holman, who we featured in the open with the stop. Good defensive line. Young but active. Loftus, Gardner, Pelham, and Holmes. Holman anchors the middle of that defense. And that secondary is pretty special. Carter and Marino are 4-year starters.
We're going to see Savion Jones on both sides of the football tonight. That's the athlete that everyone keeps raving about. You're going to see him in the backfield at running back. But boy, in the secondary, he plays pretty blanket coverage all night long.
3rd and 6 for the Green Wave. Play clock at 10. McCurry looking left, wants to throw the screen, hesitates, nearly threw it for 6 the other way. Savion Jones broke on it and didn't get it. I bet you'd love to have another crack at that one because it hit him right in the hands. And the Green Wave will have to settle for a field goal.
I got to tell you, I think that was number 31, Markel Holman. We talked about him in the open. We talked about how he's the anchor of that defense. How about the linebacker on the outside? 31 right there.
Yeah, those narrow numbers all the way across the field. Best lights we've had this year, and I'm already getting them wrong. First quarter replay brought to you by Cruz Chevrolet. Summerville, 30-yard field goal attempt up and good.
Coach Rafferty is going to be thrilled about the efficiency of that first drive. We were going to talk about, we got rudely interrupted by the superstar running back, Marquez Spells. We're going to talk about McCurry all night long. But the ability for him tonight to put the ball in his playmakers' hands. We got Smith, Spells, Green, Glenn, Pettiford. It's a plethora of talent on the outside. But there's a reason that the superstar running back, Marquez Spells, is going to be a factor all night long.
Let's take a look at our keys to the game. First for Stratford is a battle-tested football team. They've played a very tough schedule this season.
You know, the record's a little deceiving. Obviously, in high school, you only got 10 of them. But at the end of the day, you've seen Dutch Fork, you've seen Lexington. These are two of the best programs in the state of South Carolina. On the other side, Summerville 4-1. A 1-4 Stratford team is deceiving because they're battle-tested. And to be quite honest with you, Zeke, it doesn't matter the record. They're going to be ready to roll regardless. And on that Summerville side, as we referred to, McCurry, he's not a game manager. He's just got to be in charge of putting the ball in all of this absolute talent on the outside, and there is a lot of it on the Summerville side.
Keys to the game brought to you by Cruise Chevrolet. Cruise Chevrolet keys to the game. Cruise Chevrolet on rivers. You've got a friend in the car business. Palmetto Pride kickoff. Taken by Jones, and he pops it out across the 30 in good field position to start for Stratford. I said Jones, it's not 7, it's actually number 2, Jaden Martino, one of his defensive secondary mates back there on the kick return. And the Knights will go on offense. Didn't mention his name a second ago. Mason Ayers, the 30-yard field goal for Summerville, our first score of the game after a couple of big plays to open for the Green Wave. Stratford on offense led by Jalen Berry, a junior. He started all 12 games last year as a sophomore. There's a good look at number 15. Just has all the intangibles, Denny McDaniel telling us earlier today, to run this team. They're coming off their best offensive effort of the season. End around, there's Jones, the running back, and he's bounced outside and bounced down for a loss of 1.
You know, on the Stratford side, early on in this season, they've really struggled to create that balance. For Berry, it's a big arm, and he's going to have to get it out there.
Starting lineups for Stratford: Berry to quarterback, T-Pass and Jones, the talented running backs. Carter is the big threat at wide receiver, and Landon Stradcutter, the offensive lineman to watch there at left guard. Rivalry game on a Wednesday night, 3 minutes in, 3-0 Green Wave. Initial possession for Stratford. Berry escapes. Berry in trouble and has to dump it into all the green on the sidelines. Well, 5 days ago, we were at Hanahan High School, located about 20 minutes south here. We'll finish that thought in just a moment. Starting lineups on the defensive side brought to you by TEC Equipment Rental. TEC Equipment Rental, responsible for our scissor lift each and every game here on Friday Night Rivals. We rent the good stuff. Matusik at defensive tackle is the big stopper up front. Simpkins is the hard worker at linebacker along with Miller. And in the secondary, Keith Elmore Jr., the big playmaker for Summerville. Berry, time to throw. The receivers hit a little early, but the coverage was fantastic. Wanted his tight end kind of up the seam on a little flag route. And Mars couldn't come up with it, and that brings up fourth down, excuse me.
That was the free safety. Ryland Mitchell, number 9, exploded out of that free safety spot to break it up. But that's the guy that I'm looking for today when we talk about balance on the offensive side of the ball. A little shout out to our Boone Hall Fright Night red zone. That's going to be the big body in the red zone because Brett Mars is a big 6'5" body.
Stratford, first punt of the night, low line drive kick, will bounce at the 36 and take a Knights bounce. 10 extra on the roll. Officially a 38-yard punt. And so Summerville will go on offense. Well, we had everything in our first 3.5 minutes. We had a long run. We had the field goal. I think we got every sponsor in the shortest amount of time possible.
Here's the deal. Speed Racer up here. We squeezed it in. Now it's time to focus on the boys. Let's rock and roll on a fine Wednesday night.
Go through our affidavits. Make sure we got everything checked. Good to go. Let's play some football. Yeah, one more to throw in there. The score bug here in the first quarter brought to you by David Ayler Law Offices, your client-focused and community-driven injury firm. We thank them every week. Our sponsors make this happen. They put our local high school athletes front and center for you on Friday nights and on Wednesday nights, as Hurricane Ian would have it. Second possession for the Green Wave and a 5-yard gain for Spells.
You know, we talked about the short week, right? You know, you only got 2 days to prepare after last Friday. Well, we are speed racing here early and often. They didn't skip a beat.
You know, they're 15 to 18. I don't think the short week affects them the same way it does your college players. It's certainly not your NFL guys. They just don't need the recovery time. And
we could have gone for the time up here, though.
I agree. I could have used an extra 48 hours, but these kids are ready to go. And, you know, like I said in the open, when it's a rivalry game, they don't care. They're ready to play.
I think the beauty of it, too, we talked to Coach McDaniels. Record aside, these guys are always going to show up and play a close ball game. How about some of the guys on that Stratford side? Some of their dads played in this game. You don't think this game matters? Coach McDaniel blocked Coach Rafferty in this game. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
What a small but cool world sports are. Little flare out wide, complete for the first down. Mr. Sparky first down for Marquez Spells. And Summerville marching near midfield.
And you're going to see McCurry here. Like we said, it's his job to facilitate the rock. There's a lot of talent, and that talent starts with number 18, Marquez Spells. It's not an accident that he's the two-time Low Country Player of the Week this year, and boy, is that blueprint front and center tonight.
McCurry, long throw back across the field. He has this one to Smith, and Smith eludes tacklers, has a Mr. Sparky first down across midfield. And Summerville on the move on their second drive. Chasing him down, forcing him out of bounds was Brendan Carter.
Brendan Carter on the stop for Stratford. Ball spotted now.
You know, we've seen it here early and often what Summerville's going to try to do tonight. It's up tempo. Everything calls coming in from the sideline, and McCurry's playing quick. It's what you get when you got a little veteran leadership at the quarterback spot. You can go up tempo basically all night.
McCurry, play action, steps up, right up the seam into double coverage. Carter just circling like a center fielder opposite McCurry and tips it away.
A little baseball, two-way for the McCurrys. Now, we got to show some love. Obviously, we're in the Legends house. It's the GOAT, Coach McKissick, the all-time winningest coach. I'm sure we're going to say his name throughout the night because he truly is a legend. But the McCurry family here in the Summerville area, all of them have played on this football and baseball team. Their grandfather, Coach McKissick, back in the 1960s. This is a guy that's been around this program since he could walk, and coming to fruition tonight.
2nd and 10, McCurry gives it to Spells, and Spells driven backwards. Nice work up front by Stratford. Otis Gardner, Bryson Pelham right in the middle of that line. No shock that Markel Holman would be in there.
Talk about a guy that loves to play downhill and get into that backfield. I believe the first to contact was, it was number 75, Cartel Dawson, the sophomore defensive lineman, was the first point of contact.
You know what head football coaches love in high school? 6'2", 250-pound sophomore defensive tackles. That's what they love. 3rd down, McCurry. Nice throw and catch. Caught, headed to the end zone is Quintrell Pettiford. Shook off one tackle after the strike from McCurry, and Summerville has a 2-score lead.
A trying technical touchdown. It's just tough to beat, man. On the other side, Yannick Smith, Marquez Bell lined up on the left side. But you're just so tough to guard when you don't have safety help on the other side. And you got to leave the 6'4" receiver, Quintrell Pettiford. Look at him go up and eye the ball down. A really nice ball from McCurry, and Summerville, he's rolling early.
I saw some highlights, trying to watch as much as I could, getting ready for tonight's game with, really less than 2 days' notice. And the thing that jumps out at you about Summerville, they have some talent at their skill positions, and we see it here tonight.
It's the house that A.J. Green built, but boy, these guys are right on his tail. I mean, it just seems like they can beat you from each side of the field.
Replay the.
McCurry also the holder. The place kicker is Mason Ayers, 6'3" senior. Already has a field goal from 30 yards tonight. And drives it right through. Summerville 2 for 2 on drives to open the football game. McCurry to Pettiford, the Green Wave, a 10-0 lead. 6 minutes in here in Summerville.
please come to the press box. Samantha Powell.
Fan cam me. Bob, sorry about that. Let's get you down there. You might have it in your IFB, but it shouldn't be on air. But we've had some issues with that. We're going to do the fan cam. Bob?
Guys, get the cheer. No.
10-0 Summerville scores on their first 2 possessions. The Fan Cam Fan Zone, the Fan Zone Fan Cam, sponsored by Fan Zone. All your sports team gear under one roof. One more sponsor here in the first quarter. Let's go down to Trooper Bob on the sidelines. He's got a front and center seat behind the Summerville bench.
Yeah, everybody's excited here, especially for a Wednesday night. Great crowd for Summerville. Stratford's not too far away, about 6 miles. Great crowd on their side. I don't know if you saw it. I thought we had a beautiful sunset last week and hand-to-hand, but you should have saw it tonight. It was absolutely beautiful. I spoke to a staff member here at the school. She says the kids are calling this Hurrication.
On the return, nice one out across the 40 to the 45-yard line is Martino for Stratford, and the Knights have good field position to go on offense here on their second possession. Hey, Bob, one more follow-up on what you just said. I don't love seeing that red and orange. Sometimes the weather feels a little funky, like something's coming. You can almost feel it.
You know, it's knocking on our back door, but you can't tell by the amount at the stadium. It's just everyone's just excited about a Wednesday night football game.
Yeah, great night for football. Everybody moved their games up. Really a good move by all the athletic directors in the area to
Scorpions, Hurricane.
Somebody's completely in touch with what's going on.
I'm telling you, it might be hurricane season in the Low Country, but when it comes to rivalry week, they play this thing during it.
Jones on the fake, and a keeper here breaking free is Barry into the secondary. A Mr. Sparky first down and deep into Green Wave territory. Officially a 24-yard run, and just like that, the Knights on the move.
You know, you saw him on that first drive, maybe trying to get it all back at once. Barry's a big arm. It's a big body. He looks the part. You see he can get outside the pocket and try to run somebody over too, but it feels like this whole game has just been up-tempo from the jump.
Jalen Barry, Danny McDaniel telling us in our call, he's really developed into a run threat. You see it there. Worked hard in the weight room, worked hard in the offseason, has developed into that type of threat. Here out into the flat, incomplete. Pressure coming as he could feel the heat from his backside. That was Jalen Aiken bearing down on him. He got rid of it just in time.
You know, it looked like Summerville, again, we've talked about the athleticism in the secondary. You saw number 4, Michael Woodfield, the first to attack there, but it's going to look like for Stratford, I think they got to beat him on the ground today because it's going to be really tough to see. We're going to talk about this Summerville secondary all afternoon. Ryland Mitchell there in the backfield. Number 15, Keith Elmore Jr., the captain. They're big, they're long, and they're athletic in the secondary.
Jones and Martino to the near side. Running back is DePass, and he gets the give and picks up about 2 or 3. Nice push up front. DJ Crawford, Landon Stratcutter, CJ Bell, Silas Carr, Jamison Pelham, that offensive line for Stratford.
You're going to see here with Stratford all night long, they love both of their running backs a lot. Lance DePass getting the carry there, but we're going to see DePass and Savion Jones in the backfield a lot together tonight. It's a running back by committee. Each guy does a little bit something better. Put them in strength position, as you're going to see here on second down. Both of those guys in that backfield for Stratford.
Third down and call it a long 8 for the Knights. Barry with time. Now flushed. Gets away, going to get near first down yardage, pick up 4, maybe 5, maybe just a couple, and it'll be fourth down. And Denny McDaniel facing his first decision of the night.
You know, Coach McDaniel referred to it. Barry starting to get some college interest, maybe even at the wide receiver position. You know, he's picking up a little bit of steam on the outside just because how athletic he is. So what's Summerville going to do on defense to kind of combat that? You got Steve Simpkins Jr. there, the outside linebacker, almost playing a rover spy position. Just kind of following him all over the field to make sure when he does get out of the pocket, he's ready for it. And we're going to see the Knights on fourth down.
Berry trying to draw Summerville offside. Now the play call comes in from the sidelines, and Stratford will talk about it.
You know, we talked about those hurricane-type winds. Do we have 49 in the bag with the wind to the back? I don't know.
4th and about 7, a little crosswind. But you're kind of in no man's land here. Time and temperature, Holy City time and temperature. Sponsored by Holy City Heating and Air. We provide solutions for every season. 7:56 and 68 degrees. What you can't feel is when it picks up, there's about a 20-mile-an-hour crosswind. And that's about 36 hours from now. That's going to be 35 to 70 miles an hour crosswind. It's the strange east wind. It's not one you get all that often around the low country. I would know about that a little bit.
I was going to say, good or bad day to hit a golf ball?
what winds are around? Today and the next couple days, don't play golf.
Well, I mean, I don't know, is the front or the back the wind to the back? Because I'm pretty short off the tee box. I could use that wind to the back.
Yeah, you got to pick a different golf course because it's a true figure 8. Late minutes, first quarter, 10-0 Summerville. The Green Wave have scored on their opening 2 drives, but key play of the game so far for Stratford coming up. 4th and call at 7. They need the 25-yard line. Berry keeps it, tried to step up and snowed under. Matusik, Julius Brown also in there. Just that entire Green Wave defensive line, literally a wave. And they turn back Stratford.
I was going to tell you, man, it looks like Jacob Cotterill, but all 3 guys swarming the football. But you can see there, it appears at times Jalen Berry relies on that athleticism. Saw the hole, but props to that Green Wave defensive line. Kind of closed up, stopped up. Call it a covered shack, call it whatever you want, but this Green Wave team, Stratford, desperate need of a stop here.
So Summerville 10 out of the gate, a couple of stops. And looking for more, our Campbell, McCurry and company. Little ground and pound as they go to their big back, Trey Green. Fitting it all that Trey Green plays for the Green Wave.
I mean, come on. Little thunder and lightning action.
It's exactly what it is. I said deer and ram to Ian Rafferty, and he felt like that was perfect. But yeah, it is thunder and lightning, but we use that so much, I was trying to look for something else.
I was going to say, in the state of South Carolina with Clemson football, it might be a little overused.
Exactly. Mr. Sparky first down out across midfield for Summerville. They're on the move again. And Spells is absolutely the lightning, but he's so graceful. I mean, he just has this long, really impressive stride.
He makes it look easy.
That's right.
It's almost unfair.
I never ran like that. This is Smith. He's coming this way on the end around. He's going to get maybe 7 or 8 down inside the 40-yard line, and Summerville picking it up in chunks right now.
You can see why this offense has jumped out to such a hot start in this 4-1 season opener. I mean, you're right, they have weapons all over the field. Sure, jet sweep with Yannick Smith. Cool, the next play we're going to the outside with Pettiford. We're all over the place tonight.
Yannick Smith had a punt return for a TD against Wando. 19 catches for 230 yards, and one of the best hoops players in the state, all-state basketball player, and they only give that honor to a handful of guys. McCurry to his slot man. This is Pettiford. Pettiford is wearing out that little screen. And Summerville right now taking advantage of athletes in space, getting chunks down the field on Stratford.
You know, he talked about Yannick Smith, the two-way guy. Think about some of the two-way legends that have come out of this. I mean, we mentioned A.J. Green, the legend that's obviously still playing in the NFL. But how about Shaq Davis at SC State with a big matchup this weekend against South Carolina? A guy that did it both. And Yannick Smith kind of falling in line and filling the shoes.
They moved South Carolina and South Carolina State to tomorrow night.
Hey.
Yeah, so the Gamecocks bumped their game up. Not a lot, you know, if it's the trip's that short and you don't have an option to play it on Saturday, come on up from Orangeburg. Be there in 20 minutes.
I was going to say, invitation's the finest form of flight. They're copying for Wednesday night rivals. Rocking on Thursday night, Williams-Brice.
Stratford jumps here after a short gain on second down, and Summerville right now moving in such a way that you don't want to do them any favors. Spells and Green will swap on the sub. But it'll be
second
third
down.
and short for Summerville. And I don't know with these athletes that Summerville has, I don't know if you're Denny McDaniel, what you do defensively. I don't know if you come up and challenge them at the line of scrimmage or you try to make them make a couple of plays in front of you. And it seems like Stratford's going the latter direction right now. Keep them in front, limit the big plays.
In order for this defense to get back in the game, they need the offense to really start to control the rock as well.
Spells on the carry, first down yardage. Another Mr. Sparky first down for the Green Wave here in the first quarter.
I believe it was Trey Davis with the tackle. I believe it was number 4. Just kidding.
Man, you watch this game, you watch this production over the air, and the video really looks good given the production that the holes, the loops that we have to jump through. It looks fantastic coming out on the over-the-air signal. It really does.
On that brand new Summerville turf, come on.
Nod to our production team for making this happen each week. New setup every week, and always have to find one or two workarounds, but they do a great job. Drop there by Smith on first down as Summerville trying to move back in to the red zone for the third time here in the football game.
And you mentioned it, Zeke. What do you do defensively? Do you bring pressure? Try to get McCurry a little uncomfortable with the danger in that with these weapons on the outside, these corners all by themselves. We've seen Jaden Martino there in coverage as well. He's been really good for them all year, but just a scary sight to see in single coverage on the outside.
McCurry rolling right, dumps it upfield, a little low and behind, but caught by Sheldon Glenn, his first touch of the night. And Summerville is inside the 20-yard line.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's another Boone Hall Fright Nights red zone. Make your screams come true.
We'll let you have that for the rest of the night.
It's right up my alley. Do you think Coach McDaniel and the DC are screaming quite yet?
Third and short, basically everything in the playbook available right here. McCurry to Spells, first down to the 10.
You've kind of seen as this quarter's gone on that they're starting to slow it down a little bit, whereas in those first two possessions, at no huddle, McCurry, the leader, able to kind of make the call at the line, but you're going to see him go to it again. It feels like they've run the ball really effectively when they go fast.
Spells straight ahead. He'll pound for 5 or 6. Flag flies in right in the area of holding. Final minute of the first quarter, controlled by Summerville. We'll see what the flag is in a moment. My voice could have used another 2 days off. The weather changed in Charleston and it just disappeared about.
Offense, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
'Tis the season.
It is, 40 different in the 90s or upper 80s, and then suddenly 50-something overnight.
Feels like fall. A little bit different than our week 1 appearance where it was 103 in a sweatbox, but this feels like football season.
So holding the call, 1st and 20. Halfback pass, back corner of the end zone. Receiver is there, but ran out of real estate. Spells just threw it a little too far.
And I think when we go to replay here, it's going to look a lot closer. Oh, God, is his leg stuck through the fence?
No, I hope not.
Oh, God, it looked like he was down for a second.
Smith knocked into the fence, and I think his leg is stuck. He pops out. Yannick Smith is okay.
I'm telling you, that plays a lot closer than it looks. If you watch here, watch this right foot. It's pretty close. But you can see there.
Pharrell Sanders covered late, and that bump by him probably. Pharrell Sanders probably saves a touchdown. Just gets that foot to that back chalk, but that was almost a catch.
You can see the hoops are going up to go get a rebound right there, and he looks like he almost sneaks that foot in. An incredibly athletic play on the outside.
Spells would probably like to have that throwback, too. He had all sorts of room.
He does it all, man. He runs it, he throws it.
So 2nd and 20, McCurry. Time to throw, little tunnel screen. Incomplete through the hands of his intended receiver. Did he want Spells again there? I believe so. Nope.
I think that's that's 8, Caden Clark, the sophomore.
8, not 18. It is Clark.
Weapons all over the field, man.
This is the second week in a row we've had just an awesome setting for high school football. Even though it's a Wednesday night, good crowd here at Summerville. Last week at Hanahan, what a show they put on off the field and on the field. 42-0 over Porter-Gaud. And Summerville, just one of the great settings, not only in the Low Country, the entire state, and really in the entire Southeast for high school football.
I was about to say,
Tradition's almost unmatched.
If you're a football fanatic, there's something really beautiful, intimate, romantic about this field. As you're going to see, he had spell pretty open on this little screenplay here. Looks like he gets tripped up by the turf monster, and he had a lot of room to go. But you're right, man. It's kind of hidden in by the trees. You've got the legend of Coach McKissick. If you haven't been here since they put in the new turf, they renamed the stadium after his passing. Coach McKissick would be proud of the product that they've built in his name.
Second field goal attempt of the night. Mason Ayers from the right hash knocks it through. 42 yards for Ayers. Good from 30 and 42. And Summerville extends its lead to 13-0.
You know, if you're Coach McDaniel, right, silver lining after this first quarter clearly did not go as you planned. With that being said, the defense bent and didn't break. To only be down 13-0 after really Summerville commanded the football the entire quarter. This is going to be a quarter that when they go back and watch on film next week, they're going to really want to learn from it. But with that being said, a lot of football game left.
You're absolutely right, but I mean, that schedule down the road, you have at Fort Dorchester. You know, Summerville's a playoff team. That Ian Rafferty's going to want more from the first three possessions and some of the opportunities his team's had here tonight. Might not need it tonight. Could still very much so. But going to want to finish those three drives.
You know, the penalty there in the Boone Hall Fright Night red zone, backing it up, creating that third and long. They've been really good at staying on time. Third down and short, and when you're third and short with Marquez Spells in the backfield, you feel pretty good about your chances. But just staying on time, I think, in the red zone is what's, you know, caused this T field goals instead of getting into the end zone for 6.
Kick up the far sidelines, taken by, I think that is Jones, and he hesitates and is chopped down at this 21-yard line.
It's a really nice special teams play there for number 26. I believe it was Jaden Waring, the sophomore defensive back. You know, we talked about it. We saw it early and often. A lot of times these Friday night games, that third phase is a huge factor. And again, you're going to see a really nice tackle. It looked like Jones was kind of taking a methodical, waiting for a hole to open up, and Waring makes a really nice play to shoot the gap.
Could be our final play of the first quarter. Summerville has controlled it. Stratford, though, just down 13-0, looking to answer. Slicing upfield for a couple of yards out across the 25-yard line goes Lance DePass. Brown on the stop. And that'll take us to the end of our first 12 minutes. Summerville impressive in the opening stanza. McCurry to Pettiford, the touchdown. Green Wave, 13-0.
Standing by with Bob, we're waiting on.
Orthopedics and
Friday night rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet on a Wednesday night from John McKissick Field at Summerville High School. Green Wave controlled the first quarter 13-0. Let's go down to the sidelines to Trooper Bob.
I'm here with Principal Kenny Farrell. I'm here with Principal Kenny Farrell. And what are some of the great things you're doing here at Summerville?
Well, we have a great community, as you can see. We have great kids. The good thing we're doing is every day we're making a difference in their future, and they're taking care of business.
I know you play at USC tonight, making the field. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Correction, that was 2nd and 7.
A little bit of mic trouble there with Bob. But I want to remind you, My TV Charleston and ABC News 4 are proud to present each participating homeschool a check for $500. This grant provides each school with extra funding to help make their school great. Over the past 12 seasons, Friday Night Rivals and our sponsors have donated over $130,000 to Low Country students and schools. Congratulations from My TV Charleston and ABC News 4. So 3rd and 7 for Stratford after our check presentation. Time for Barry. Creates time, has a receiver open up the middle of the field. Complete first down yardage and more. Great job by Barry buying time. Found Tim Lloyd standing right at midfield, right on the Summerville logo, and the Knights are on the move.
I think Stratford's going to need a lot of that out of Barry tonight. His ability to create with the feet is what allowed Lloyd to extend the play and kind of sit in the soft spot of that coverage. A really much needed play. Stratford desperately needed to not go 3 and out, and Barry's able to deliver in a big way.
Second quarter replay brought to you by Palmetto Pride. Palmetto Pride. Pickup is important, but prevention is better. Litter trashes everyone. Don't do it. A couple of yards on first down for Lloyd.
We mentioned with the Knights that running back by committee with Jones and DePass, but the sophomore Lloyd getting some big-time snaps here early on in the second quarter.
Timeout asked for by Summerville. Talking with Denny McDaniel, he said about Tim Lloyd, he's like really talented, really tough sophomore running back. He's going to make plays for us. Going to be great in the future. He needs to grow up a little bit, needs to work a little harder, needs to focus a little more, but has the talent.
What better guys to learn from than a guy like Savion Jones, who's shown that he's doing it in all 3 phases of the game. It's an opportunity for Lloyd to really learn and adapt under a guy like a Savion Jones or a Lance DePass. And Stratford not getting off to the start they wanted to schedule-wise, but you take a look at this lineup, there's a lot of young talent on both sides of the ball. They've got a lot of hope and promise in the future for that Knight team.
Reminder tonight, because of all the football in the Low Country and so many high school games moved to tonight, join ABC News 4's Scotty Eisberg and Natalie Spalla on Wednesday/Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet tonight at 11:05. Scores and highlights from all the action moved to tonight. Like I said, a smattering of games on Monday night, but they'll have a full show tonight for you as almost the entire Low Country in action tonight in high school football. 2nd and 8 for the Knights. Barry, little pop pass, tight end was well covered. Brett Mars not with a whole lot of space. Safety was closing and a linebacker running with him, and it'll be 3rd down.
Brett Mars, like I said, it's a big 6'5" body. You look to see him in the red zone. That tight end kind of running right up the seams. Just about as good as it gets at the high school level, but on that defensive side of the ball, that Green Wave defense feels really good with senior defensive back Keith Elmore. He's long. He can guard the tight end. He plays over the top of that nickel defense. Elmore, their senior captain, kind of pioneers this really athletic secondary.
Barry and company facing 3rd down and long. Blitz coming. Rolls away from it. He'll pull it down and dart upfield for a couple of yards. It'll bring up 4th down.
You know, we had mentioned it, 4th down here, kind of in that in-between place. You want to switch sides of the field, slow that Summerville offense. It looks like Coach McDaniel is going to bring out the punt team, but 4th and 6, kind of a gray area here early in the game, but clearly not panicking on that side of the sideline. Like we said, it's a rivalry game. I got a feeling that this game is going to come down to one possession here at the end.
This Summerville defense and defensive coordinator Aaron Self, they're sophisticated. Head coach Ian Rafferty telling us this is almost a pro scheme. We have a lot of really complicated. As the punt, nice inside the 10. A lot of really complicated different approaches in our scheme, and it shows in their results. First 3 games of the season, 7, 6, and 0 points allowed. Had kind of a weird game up at Sumter on a long trip. We might talk about that a little bit more later. Won the shootout with Goose Creek last year, but this has been a dominant defensive unit.
Absolutely. I guess you can run
last
those.
Week, I should say.
Absolutely. Yeah. But you can run those kind of complex defensive schemes when you're so, veteran experienced in that backfield. Obviously, you get away with a lot when you've got that kind of athleticism, but when you've got 17, 18-year-old juniors and seniors looking to play at the next level, you can get away with doing some different things in the backfield.
Summerville, their worst starting field position of the night. They've scored on all 3 drives so far. 2 field goals from Ayers. And a touchdown reception by Quintrell Pettiford from Campbell McMurray. And Spurs on the Palmetto Pride replay. Spells, on the Palmetto Pride replay. Picks up 9. It's not easy to talk sometimes or call a football game where your voice is kind of on the way out.
I don't know. I think you sound good, man. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. You sound good. We're rolling. The sponsorship's getting here involved a lot, but a really nice play from Brendan Carter from the other side of the field. But to your point on that first down play, Marquez Spells runs really, it's beautiful. Truly, it looks like it's in slow motion. He's playing a video game. It's very meticulous, but he shoots the gap when needed to.
First downs in the second quarter brought to you by West Shore Homes, America's most admired home remodeling brand. Short run here for the Green Wave, but might be coming back. That flag flew in right in the area of holding.
Curious almost if it was a late face mask too.
Let's bounce back down to the sideline, see what our buddy Trooper Bob is up to.
Hey guys, while the offense is on the field, the defense for some of the around 2 flat screen TVs underneath this tent going over the last previous plays, and the same thing goes when the offense comes off. They're huddled around. This is big business here in Summerville. They're here to win games.
You sure they're not watching us? Holding the call on the play, so Summerville will be backed up. It'll face first and about 19, so they pick up a yard or 2 on the flag, then go backward 10.
You said it, they do have all the bells and whistles, man. If this doesn't look or feel like a D1 college program, I don't know what does. These guys are not messing around.
That is exactly what it feels like. Long throw across the field for McCurry, has it complete and back near the original line of scrimmage. Pettiford on the reception.
We go back, by the way, to that holding call. Otis Gardner, that defensive lineman over there on the Stratford side, doing a really good job of kind of creating some disruption in the Summerville backfield here on this possession. Much needed. Try to get Campbell McCurry. Mentioned his older brother there, but trying to get him a little uncomfortable.
I said Pettiford on the catch. Might have been Smith at the bottom of the pile. Here he gets a quick reception. But still 3rd down and long for the Green Wave. Opening minutes of the second quarter. And Summerville, which has scored on all 3 drives tonight, trying to make it 4 for 4, but to do so, they'll have to pick up this 3rd and 8.
We mentioned it briefly in the keys of the game, but even on the last possession, keeping Summerville's offense off time, right? 3rd and long here. This is huge for the confidence of this defense to find a way to get off the field on 3rd down.
Third and 8. McCurry time. Steps up. McCurry takes off. McCurry has the first down. Spun down at the 41-yard line. Campbell McCurry doing it with his legs. Out to the 41-yard line. Didn't have anything downfield. Didn't force it. And took off.
You know, we mentioned it on the other side with Barry's ability to get out of the pocket and run. It's not doubt the athleticism of the McCurrys. He's watched his older brothers and cousins do it for a long time in this program. Checks down, goes through the progressions. When he sees there's nothing there, that's right, he's going to pick it up with the wheels as well.
Smith has a step deep. Did he stay in bounds?
Yes, sir.
They say yes. Yannick Smith had a step. Came up at the 29-yard line, but maybe not on the replay. Whew. And Summerville catches a break on the call.
I'm not one for body language, but when you watch those two officials kind of meet together, I don't think either of them were too sure. I guess that's what happens when you have to deal with the speed of Yannick Smith. Even the officials were caught off guard.
Good look on the Palmetto Pride replay, but Summerville catches a break, and they'll try to take advantage.
You know, it almost felt like after that 3rd and 8, that Stratford defense felt a little deflated. Summerville kind of catching guard of that, and McCurry takes a shot, and now they got the Knights on their heels.
Summerville on the move, trying to add to this 13-point lead. Green back in the game. Behind McCurry, Green downhill, now bounces it outside and just clipped down. Nice job. Might have been McMillan reaching upfield on the stop.
That was a mean stiff arm. You're going to see an absolute forearm shiver right here on the outside. Boom.
Just got the foot, so he got Holmes to the ground with the stiff arm, but Holmes just got enough of his foot to make the stop.
It looks like that Stokes Honda corporate-sponsored Turf Monster got another guy tonight. Really mean stiff arm, but...
Summerville, little inside run again, trying to find some running room for Keith Elmore Jr. First time he's carried the ball tonight, but another flag down on the Green Wave. I think that area of holding, they're having some trouble inside with Otis Gardner, Bryson Pelham, Daryl Holmes.
Again, I think it was Gardner. Again, I mean, Otis Gardner kind of having his way right now. Kind of forcing this Summerville team back into a 2nd long, 3rd and long here. Gardner is kind of stepping up, creating a difference for this Knight defense so far.
3rd and 14, Summerville on the move, but backed up at the moment. They need to move it inside the red zone. Green in the backfield with McCurry, who's in the shotgun. McCurry rolling right. Trying to step up, fires downfield into coverage, intercepted. Forced that one and paid the price. Brendan Carter brings it back out across the 20, and Stratford gets the stop they need.
And a really nice play. It looked like McCurry kind of got out of the pocket and wanted to take his chance on 3rd and long. But Brendan Carter, we said his name a couple times in the run defense. You're going to see him here kind of playing that rover free safety spot. Makes a really nice play to jump the pass and a big, much-needed stop for this Knight defense. See if it kind of ignites a little bit of a flame on the offensive side of the ball now. Quite honestly, it looks like this ball's getting picked off by 3 guys.
Forced it into triple coverage. Mistake he will learn from. Put that one to the back of the end zone or into the shrubs. Those are the 2 places that ball can go. First down toss and a little power running to the far side of the field. Goes to pass.
Ike Rutherford with a good hit on the far sideline.
Ike Rutherford chased him down. 2nd and 7 for Stratford here near the midway point of the 2nd quarter. Knights looking for their first points. Again, if you're just joining us, 2 Mason Ayers field goals, 30 and 42 yards, and a touchdown strike from McCurry to Pettiford are our scoring in this one so far. Barry escapes. Barry has a receiver. It's tied in. Mars wide open. Mars has a nice gain, a first down out across the 40-yard line.
And, you know, that's where we've seen a lot of success for this offense. It's almost ad-lib, right? It's when the play breaks down. The route's not necessarily run to a T, but when Barry's able to create with his legs, breaks a tackle there, it's almost everything like the defense starts to break down because, again, this is a very fundamental Summerville defense. And as we mentioned, they've created some havoc in the backfield, but so far, Jalen Barry's legs has been the difference so far. Look for them to continue to rely on it.
Barry, inside give. This is Lloyd, excuse me. He pounds for a couple.
Yeah, I hate to sound cliche, but even with shots like this, shout out to our unbelievable camera crew, but that Summerville defense up front on both sides of the football, I hate to sound cliche, but they're going to have a lot of success this year because it just feels like they're going to bully people in the trenches. Guys like Jacob Cotterill, Julius Brown, Josh Matusik, I mean, these guys are big up front. Like, must be a high school coach's dream to go 6'4", 270 up front. I mean, it's going to be tough to defend all year.
Berry takes the snap, play action, forced backwards and tried to force it into Mars. Couldn't get it to him. And it'll bring up 3rd down, but there's a flag back on, probably a holding call on Stratford. You know, this game is kind of turned in some ways where Stratford wants it, in the sense that Summerville had the momentum early, scored on the first 3 drives. Now it's getting a little sleepy. And a score here for Stratford kind of changes the complexion.
Couldn't agree more. It's like that first quarter, Summerville with 3 possessions, 3 scores. I think Stratford's recipe for success this year is going to be to control the clock. They wanted battle, and they want to dominate the time of possession. That's when they're going to start to win ball games. If you want to play, there are going to be a lot of teams that are going to play in the low country with the Green Wave, and Summerville was able to do that in the first quarter. To your point, Stratford has no problem lulling to your sleep. And I think to get back into this game, not to panic, might be 2 scores right now, but start to dominate on the ground, and again, to stay out of these 2nd, 3rd, and longs and stay on time.
2nd and 27 for the Knights. They need to get to the Summerville side of the field. Berry, little screen set up nicely and dropped by Lloyd. Had space if he caught it cleanly, but couldn't come up with it.
To your point, Zeke, you're right. There's just a young, unexperienced play. It's going to be one that he's going to look back on and try to take off before he made the catch.
This place just has everything. Now we got the train horn nearby.
I'm telling you. Talk about sleepy and intimate little town, man. Just tradition. It's rich here in Summerville.
Let's go, G!
3rd. And basically Kiowa right now for Stratford. They need 30 yards. And Denny McDaniel bounces off the sideline and asks for timeout.
You think he's got a 3rd and 30 play in the playbook there, Zeke?
Summerville scored on their 3 opening drives. They have a 13-0 lead. Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
Okay, he's watching.
Upcoming Friday Night Rivals schedule. We hope to be back with you next Friday night. Hurricane Ian can get on out of here. And we'll be in Mount Pleasant. Berkeley visits Wando, the Stags and the Warriors. 2 weeks from tonight, Cane Bay, Goose Creek, Fort Dorchester, West Ashley. Still a number of weeks of Friday Night Rivals left in the 2022 season. Berry directing traffic on third and forever. Does he have enough space? Lowers his head and gets back near the original line of scrimmage and then driven backwards. Boy, you see why Denny McDaniel likes Jalen Berry as he becomes a better runner. He's going to be a special player.
I'm telling you, you can see why college is at the next level. Watch him get out of the pocket, commands the block there, but watch him take off. You can see why college is at the next level. See this guy playing on the outside as well at the quarterback position, but this is an athletic kid, but kind of Summerville baiting into a 3rd and 30, but it's not downplay how important those 19 yards were. Becomes a game of field position for the Knights. As they're trying to claw back into this game, it's going to be important that they command the ball and field position as well.
4th down, and the punt away, and skips out of bounds on the Summerville sideline at the 39-yard line. We have more on Jalen Berry. We'll talk about him a little bit later. Palmetto Pride replay.
I keep jumping the gun on it. I think I think
so.
Jaden Waring, the sophomore, again, may have gotten a handle on that thing. I kept going hesitant. I didn't know if I wanted to pull the trigger or not after the replay. I'm pretty sure he got a handle on it. I think we said Jaden Waring's name a couple times tonight. It's a really nice play to flip the field for him.
Him or Malachi Fowler. I couldn't tell if it was 26 or 28. First down throw complete, but not a whole lot doing for Summerville. Stratford just 1-3 on the season. They have played a beast of a schedule. At Lexington, they had Dutch Fork at home. Lost a tough game to Carolina Forest. That Carolina Forest game 2 weeks ago. Scored to go up. Had a late pass interference call that led to a touchdown for Carolina Forest. Drove it all the way down. Had a chance to win in the final 30 seconds. Couldn't come up with a catch in the end zone. But played really hard. Had a chance to be 2-2. Oof. It wasn't their night, but they're still trying to put it together. A young football team when you look at their roster. And didn't get to play their opener. They played 7 minutes against Avon from Ohio to start the season and fell behind 7-0 and didn't get to play any more football because that was that week 0 back on August the 19th where Mother Nature won the entire week.
A lot of matchups.
Mother Nature went about 25-0 on week 0.
But to your point, it's kind of the caveat of playing that difficult schedule, right? You get to test this youth, have them ready to go by week 6, week 7, so once you get to region play when it really starts to matter.
2:40 to play until halftime. 3rd and 11 for the Green Wave. Pressure escaping is McCurry. Taking off is McCurry. Oof. And into with the first down. Stratford territory is McCurry. Another West Shore Homes first down. But Campbell McCurry doing it with his legs, and Summerville trying to make a statement just before halftime.
He almost identified it early that he wanted to take off of this thing. And if you look, number 41, Isaiah Bradley Williams, the outside linebacker, looks like it was a great spot. And McCurry does a little dance and goes right by him.
Quick screen to Quintrell Pettiford this way. Pettiford picks up 9. And the entire playbook open right now to Ryan Sharpie. And this Summerville Green Wave offense.
And this is that up-tempo offense. When they start to go no huddle, this seems like when they're almost unfair. They can't stop them, it feels like.
Spells straight ahead, nearly popped it. It's another West Shore Homes first down. West Shore Homes, America's most admired home remodeling brand.
Maybe try to go a little bit too quick there, but Marquez Spell is a smooth customer in that Green Wave backfield. It just feels like he finds the hole, he hits it. There's no dancing around. It's very easy for him back there.
5-yard penalty, first down.
So 1st and 15 after the false start penalty on Summerville. Wednesday night edition of Friday Night Rivals. Hurricane Ian bearing down on the low country, and certainly our thoughts and prayers are with those in Florida that are getting hit very hard right now by the hurricane. Throw and catch caught by Smith. He has the penalty and a couple of yards back. And it'll set up 2nd down and manageable now for Summerville.
It's almost been kind of the story of the second quarter here. Some penalties that have kind of gotten them back behind the chains, but the Green Wave doing a good job of making this a much more second and manageable where they're not kind of falling back. Would love to see this team execute. We talked about the Boone Hall Fright Knights red zone, and they haven't necessarily executed to their par.
Deep shot here out of the reach of Smith. Didn't really have a chance to get to it. McCurry took a shot there. And it'll be third down.
That looked like it was number 53, Jameel Gadsden, in the backfield, kind of making McCurry take a shot. I mean, he really put a lick on him, but it's a really nice play from the junior defensive lineman.
Nice job by Jaden Martino running with Smith on the coverage. Third down. Summerville all the way out wide goes McCurry. Complete first down yardage, breaking a tackle, and a flag coming in is, I believe, Sheldon Glenn, but this one might come back and we might see third down and 5 all over again.
This might back him up. This is going to be after the play, too. I believe this is going to be on number 12, Quintrell Pettiford.
I think I just saw a holding signal, so it'll be a spot foul, come back, it'd be third down and about 5 or 6 again.
Yeah. Pettiford really after the play, kind of unnecessary, especially with Stratford not playing necessarily press coverage on 3rd and 5. A little surprised to see him back off. And again, for McCurry, it's not the deep shot that needs to beat him.
Offense, 10-yard penalty.
Yep.
Replay, third down.
And again, like we saw, saw him try to take the shot at the end zone. You love it when the offense is executing. You feel like you can slip it into triple coverage. But again, you've seen these little screens that have kind of killed this Knight defense and kind of picking them apart.
Good look at Ian Rafferty. Played here at Summerville, a 1994 grad. Played at NC State and then went on to play in the NFL. Time and now no time as the pocket collapses on McCurry. And he's sacked. Holmes upfield. The aforementioned Jameel Gadsden closing in on Campbell McCurry, and that brings up fourth down. And if you're Summerville, 4th and 14, final 50 seconds of the first half, you're going to take a shot here.
Absolutely. You got to, like we said. Unless you've got those hurricane-type winds, I don't know how many 50-yard field goals we're going to see here at John McKissick Field, but they're going to air it out here on 4th.
2 receivers either side. McCurry looking upfield, floats it out there for Smith. I got a little shove, but came up with it. The flag comes in late.
Yeah. Absolutely, you called it, Zeke.
They'll let you do that, and they'll let you keep it low, but Smith just a little extra hand in the back to get free and catch that football, and that one's going to come back.
Well, we talked about it, man. That's the NBA all-region guy out there on the outside. You're not getting away with that one on the hardwood either.
Yannick Smith, as Jack referring to, is all-state hoopster. Talented two-sport athlete. So Summerville now facing 4th and long. There's a look at our fan cam, sponsored by Fan Zone. Happy but unhappy Summerville students. They wanted the touchdown, but they're happy their team is up 13-0. Fan cam sponsored by Fan Zone. All your sports teams gear under one roof. We've seen a lot of that too. The Fan Zone each week, they've had the jerseys all year. Good coordination there.
Absolutely. Look like country night. Love to see the cowboy hat here in the low country.
Jack Scahill on to punt, chips it up the right side, and that'll take us almost to halftime. 14 seconds left to the first half. Summerville defense has been the story. It was both sides of the ball early, but
14 seconds left in the half.
This Aaron Self defense for the Green Wave, they've pitched already one shutout this season and held 3 teams to a touchdown or less. They've done the job here in the first half.
I think both coaching staffs are going to have a lot to discuss at halftime. Coach Rafferty's team has really dominated the ball for the most part, but only see 13 points on the scoreboard. They'll be upset. Coach McDaniel's got to love the resiliency of the Knight defense here in the second quarter.
In between the tackles, this is Lloyd. He has a nice gain, and we'll have a West Shore home first down just before halftime. Stratford won't run another play, and we are at halftime. Summerville controlling both sides of the football. The Green Wave, a touchdown pass, McCurry to Pettiford. The key play in the first half, our lone touchdown. And let's go down to the sidelines to Trooper Bob, who's with Ian Rafferty.
Right, I'm here. Coach, you're up 13-0 in the half. What would you like to see more of in the second half?
We got to finish drives. You know, we've been down there in the red zone, I think, 3 times and got field goals and then didn't get anything right there.
What's the best?
Ian Rafferty, his team up 13-0 at halftime here on Friday Night Rivals, a Wednesday night edition. McCurry to Pettiford, our lone touchdown. Summerville, the Green Wave.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now direct your attention to the scoreboard.
Welcome to the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Back at Summerville High School, the Green Wave a 13-0 lead over Stratford at halftime. Friday Night Rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Now time for the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report, brought to you by Palmetto Pride. Litter trashes everyone. Each week, David Ayler Law Offices and Writers Law Group is proud to highlight a scholar athlete from each participating school. The students selected will have an opportunity to win a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season. Tonight's scholar athletes are, first, for Stratford, Ja'Kai Holmes Robinson. Ja'Kai has a 3.86 GPA, All-State and 2-time All-Region in football, elementary school volunteer as well. He is our scholar athlete from Stratford. And for Summerville, Mason Ayers, the kicker, 5.36 GPA, captain of the wrestling team, varsity soccer player, player of the week in the Low Country for special teams in football. Making a good case for that again tonight. Also a Young Life Ambassador, National Honor Society, and Summerville Health Occupations Club member. Mason Ayers and Ja'Kai Holmes Robinson are your David Ayler Law Office's scholar athletes this week. I want to remind you, as part of our Scholar Athletes, tonight's trophy and Scholar Athletes plaques at the end of the season are provided by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993. Summerville in control at halftime. Their defense controls it in the first half. They lead Stratford 13-0 at the break here on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
David Ayler of the Ayler Law Office is joining us right now talking Scholar Athlete of the Week. But first, let's talk about you, a new office in North Charleston. Talk a little bit about the new pad and the new digs for your office.
Yeah, we actually just got in there in the last couple of months, still working out some of the kinks, but we're over in the Tanger Outlet. Actually, if you're driving down I-26, you can see our sign, so it's great to have everybody together. Much more team motivated, I think, and you got to come by and check it out.
I will do it. Team motivated, talk about Scholar Athletes. A lot of these kids are team motivated. They are team, but also individual, and that's what kind of makes them stand out for us, and that's why you strike the check.
Yeah, but every year, as you well know, because you watch the same videos I watch, all of them have so many great accomplishments from the classroom to the court to the field, and then really to the community as well. So they're so well-rounded. It just really just shows the type of individuals that they already are and only can imagine what they'll achieve.
David Ayler of the Ayler Law Offices. He brings you our Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Welcome to the Welcome to the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Back on the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report. Palmetto Pride litter trashes everyone. Holy City time and temp as Summerville leading Stratford 13-0. It is 8:49 p.m., 68 degrees, and the breeze starting to pick up out of the east as weather continues to move our way. Holy City heating and air time and temperature. We provide solutions for every season. Entertaining first half. Summerville right now flexing a little bit defensively, and I want to tell you here at halftime, hey fans, we're going to give you an opportunity to vote for tonight's Delta Force All-Stars Cheer of the Game. Log on to abcnews4.com/poll and vote for either of tonight's cheer squads, either from Summerville or from Stratford. Cast a vote for the winning cheer, and we will tell you the results later in the game. Here are your cheers for tonight.
Hey guys, I'm on the sidelines with Sharidia and Taryn from Delta Force. Sharidia, what's some of the programs that you offer over there?
So we offer an after-school program as well as recreational tumbling, cheerleading, and competitive cheerleading for athletes from ages 2 to 18 and above.
Is it too late to join a team?
It is not too late. We have our free special needs team that's getting ready to start in mid-October. It's going to start Sunday, October 16th. And then our half-year program starts November 6th. It's a Sunday. We're going to have tryouts. And it's perfect for kids that are just coming out of their high school season, kids that want to get started in cheerleading but don't really know what it's about. It's the perfect option for them.
All right, we have October coming up. You have something special coming up, too. Tell us about it.
We do. We have our Fall Festival and our Trunk or Treat, which is open to the public. It is Saturday, October the 15th from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Again, open to the public. Great time to come check us out, tour the facility, learn more about our programs.
All right, I'm excited about it, too. Can you guys show me how to do a cartwheel?
Sure, I can teach you a cartwheel.
We'll do that later.
Welcome to the Palmetto Pride Halftime Report.
Palmetto Pride Halftime Report here on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Summerville pitching a shutout through 2 quarters over their rival, the Stratford Knights. Both teams just about ready to come out out of the locker room for the second half. I want to remind you once again, tonight's trophy and Scholar Athletes plaques at the end of the season are provided by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993. Jack, Summerville defense kind of set the tone in the first half, but the offense had it rolling early.
It was a track meet. I mean, when you've got that many weapons, we don't want to sound like we're beating a dead horse, but boy, do they have weapons on the outside. And when you run that track meet, there's not going to be many teams in the state that can play with the Green Wave. In that second quarter, though, you saw Stratford kind of strap it up defensively. You knew that a Coach McDaniel's team wasn't going to quit, and their defense really came to the call. And you know, Summerville looking to be a little bit more efficient here in the second half as we see Pettiford prance into the end zone. Big, long receiver on the outside. But again, here, the keys in the second half, you got to see this team look to, execute in the red zone. But for Stratford, look to slow the game down, control the rock. Time of possession can still be their friend. Only down 2 scores in a game that felt like it was dominated by the team in green. Look to see a really close second half. This thing's going to be a 1-possession game. Always is in a rivalry game.
Summerville leading Stratford at halftime. Both teams out of the locker room warming up. Let's see if we can steal Denny McDaniel for a moment here in just a second. as he's hustling over to Trooper Bob. He's chatting. I think he wants something down on the sidelines to go his way with the boys in stripes. Let's go down to Bob on the sidelines. He's with Coach McDaniel.
Hey, Coach, plenty of games, but what's the message to your team at halftime to keep their head in the game?
Defensively, just keep playing. We're getting in third long situations, and we're giving up. If it's 3rd and 10, we're giving 11. So we got to, shore up our defense a little bit on that side of the ball. Offensively, we just got to get something going. Anytime we have something nice happen, good for us, we shoot ourselves in the foot with a penalty or a drop pass, something like that. I think the biggest thing is, we tell them it's still 13-0. It's a winnable ball game. We just got to calm down and play our game. And not really, press too much stuff. So.
Good chat there with Denny McDaniel. Both these coaches played for their alma mater. Denny McDaniel, or coaching their alma mater, I should say, played at Stratford for Summerville. Ian Rafferty played at Summerville. I mean, it's kind of neat for those types of things to happen.
I think the coolest story we heard all week, Coach McDaniel had talked about, there are guys on this team who dad played in this rivalry game. I mean, how beyond cool. But with that being said, as we get into this second half, we talked about it at the beginning of the game. Stratford battle tested. They played a lot of really good football teams. Found another really good one tonight in this rivalry game. But can this young team learn how to win and be their best when their best is needed? That's going to be the big question in the second half.
Yeah, McCurry's done a good job of spreading it around. Now they just got to finish some drives.
You talked about it, the two-way guy, the baseball guy. He does it. He's an athlete all over the field, but boy, it's been about those weapons on the outside, and McCurry can continue to just deliver the ball, put his weapons in positions to succeed. They're going to have a lot of success as well.
Let's get a look at the Green Wave. Both teams getting loosened up for the second half. Summerville, 13-0 lead over Stratford. Second half coming up.
Derek, you know where my headset is? I don't see it over there.
The second half of week number 6 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. What does it hold in store? Summerville controlled the first half. Stratford will get it to start the second half. Zeke Beam, Jack DeLongshaw, Trooper Bob on the sidelines. Wednesday night edition of Friday Night Rivals. Kick down the near sideline. Oh, that's a mistake. They might give Savion Jones credit for standing on the line, but that is a teachable moment. Caught the ball and then stepped right out of bounds. You've got two options there. You let it go, it goes out of bounds, you get the great field position. Or if you're the receiver, you can put your foot out of bounds, catch the ball, and it is still technically out of bounds. But instead, Jones catches it, runs out of bounds, and his team has to take it at the 9.
Here's the deal. We've been wildly complimentary of Savion Jones, the guy that plays in all three phases of the game. I think the athlete in him said, hey, I'm going to perform my best 2 feet NFL catch here. And a little bit of a miscue, but Stratford looking to control the rock here in the second half. Time of possession will be huge for them to get back in the game.
Backed up on their opening drive and a couple of yards straight ahead for Lloyd. Started to see him a little bit more later in the first half. Had the big catch at midfield. Picks up 3 here and sets up second down at about 7.
You know, you talked about it. Lloyd has a lot to learn in this Stratford offense. Some guys to really kind of absorb some knowledge from with Savion Jones and Lance the Pass. But what better learning opportunity than against the big rival just 4 miles down the road?
Second and 7. Barry directing traffic. Gives it inside. Nothing doing. Maybe a yard. Hard-earned yard there for Lloyd. And bring up third down. Can't talk enough about what an awesome setting for high school football this is. Just the massive oak tree in the north end zone. The wraparound stadium. The hedges.
Truly, it's a beautiful homage to Coach McKissick and, you know, his entire family that is Summerville football. And it's something that hopefully that his family, and I know he'd be really proud of it. And it's really just kind of a beautiful venue, to be honest.
Let's come back again next week.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Third down. Key play of the second half so far. Pressure coming behind Barry, and he's knocked down and threw it away. Hit as he threw and just kind of flew out of his hands. And kind of wonder about the short side play call there in some ways, and Summerville had that one sniffed out.
Look at the form tackle, though, man. We've said the name a lot tonight. It's the senior captain, Keith Elmore Jr., exploding from the backside. We've talked a lot about the wheels from Jalen Berry, but Keith Elmore Jr. making sure that the Green Wave get off the field on third down.
When they get down in this deep left corner of the end zone or left corner of the field, have to hang out the window to call the game. Look back at my speed chart. Really good punt down the right sideline. And will bounce out of bounds. Summerville will have good field position, but the punt flips the field for the moment. 47-yard kick there. And no return out of bounds. Enzo Mori, really nice punt there.
To your point, it's a little Harry Carey-esque at Wrigley Field, man. You're getting agile up here.
The old, like when I first started doing this, I remember one of the play-by-play guys with me. He's like, I just take a hammer to every game. Anytime I have to call the game through a window, I've got a solution.
I love it. See, I'm new. I'm learning. That's a great lesson to take on with me.
False start will start this drive for Summerville. McCurry and company back out for their first drive of the third quarter.
You know, I think this offense is so fast. It's going to be on the other side. A little surprising. I thought I saw the left tackle, the big fella for Summerville, number 71, John Corley, drop, but I believe they're going to get the middle linebacker, the guy we've been raving about all night long, Holcomb, that may have jumped offside, trying to get a little antsy on 1st and 10.
I always forget that offsides in high school, that's one of the high school, college, pro rules that change, and offsides in high school by the defense is a dead ball foul, and it stops the play. Does it in college or pro?
That's interesting. You think maybe it's, you want the free play. Everybody wants to see the firework Hail Mary throw. Streaks, let's roll.
Might be the very reason.
Second down and 5 for the Green Wave.
So Summerville picks up 5. Take that back. They got 5 on the penalty and no gain on the run to start the drive. Throw this way. Smith has the reception. He's into Stratford territory and near a first down.
Pass complete to Yannick Smith.
That's the fear of Yannick Smith's speed right there. It kind of looked like they were setting that play up from the jump, but because of the speed, Savion Jones has got to play off a little bit, almost close to 6 yards. That's about as easy as a first down as the Green Wave have picked up tonight.
Replay brought to you by Cruise Chevrolet. Cruise Chevrolet on Rivers. You've got a friend in the car business, and Summerville has their first down of the second half. And Mr. Sparky first down.
That was a really nice play by Henry McMillan. That hanky came in from the line judge way back. I'm curious what the call is going to be here.
Is it holding or is it maybe a horse collar tackle? They might say he got the middle of the jersey if they threw it for horse collar.
Regardless, Henry McMillan had that play snuffed out. Knew McMurray was, that RPO was going to hold on to it or let it eat. McMillan played really disciplined ball there.
Face mask.
Yep. Got the
replay first down.
They called it on Henry McMillan for grabbing the face mask, but just the 5-yard penalty. That's another college to high school rule change. There is no 5-yarder in college anymore, just the 15. McMurray, this is a backward pass and a run. Nice one-handed catch. Spells has the first down, and Summerville on the move.
I'm telling you, even the way he gets himself up after the tackle, this dude is a smooth customer. Why use two hands if you got one? I mean, come on. The young man, Marquez Spells, is an absolute delight. Almost a little Michael Jackson-esque dance move, a little moonwalk on the tag. Watch him get up here after the end of the play. That's the most athletic thing I would have ever done in my life. Well done, young fella.
He's got 3 touchdowns on the season. Team's leading rusher. Looking for a fourth here. We'll pick up 5 or 6 in the middle of that line. Spells had a kickoff return for a touchdown against Berkeley. 63 carries, up near 700 yards now. That 63 has gone up as well here tonight. I have in my notes he's a deer. Has an offer from Charleston Southern, continuing to get traction from other schools. And you see why here tonight.
You said it earlier, it's a majestic runner, but when we look at those offensive linemen up front, those guys have got a lot of credit themselves too. That's a big front, especially at the high school level.
Little touch to Quintrell Pettiford's blown dead.
Start 11 green. Start 11 green.
We'll see which way this one goes. This one's going to go against a Green Wave, and so the initial run walked backwards on the penalty. It'll set up about 2nd and 12. Summerville needs basically the red zone to pick up the first down. They started the football game, did Summerville, with a field goal, a touchdown from Pettiford, and a field goal again on their first 3 drives, scored on all 3. And looking to start the second half in the same manner here tonight. Quick throw, Smith the catch. He gets the penalty back, maybe an extra step or 2 down to the 25-yard line.
Absolutely. I love the screen there. It kind of seems like sometimes McCurry kind of checks downfield, goes through the progressions, then goes to the screen. There was no question in his mind. He's going to take that step, and he's getting it right into Yannick Smith's hands almost immediately.
Remind you, the third quarter scorebug brought to you by David Ayler Law Offices, your client-focused and community-driven injury firm. McCurry faked it to Green, dumped it out in the flat, and has it complete for first down yardage to his tight end, Bryce Taylor. Taylor knocked down inside the 15.
Taylor's a name that we haven't said yet. And as he takes him into the Boone Hall Fright Night Red Zone, make your screams come true. Taylor, that's a big body down here in the red zone. Again, a guy that you don't hear a lot of. He's a huge piece in that run scheme for the Green Wave, but big first down pickup for the Green Wave there.
Trey Green, the run on first down. Picks up about 6, and Summerville knocking on the door. McCurry gave it to Green again. Powers his way over that left side, following Corley and Inhabitant. Going to be near first down yardage, but I think he's going to be about a yard short.
When you got the likes of Marquez Spells in the backfield, wouldn't be surprised if they go to him on 3rd and short, but To me, this is almost 4-down territory with how they haven't been able to execute in the red zone. Curious to see if we just see that play action play again, as we're going to see McCurry actually wide at the top of your screen. They're going to go Wildcat. It's going to be Yannick Smith taking the snap.
Smith in the shotgun. He'll keep it. Dart straight ahead and into the end zone for the Summerville touchdown. Faked the handoff, powered his way ahead, and he has the Trident Technical College touchdown.
And again, you mentioned that left side of the offensive line. Corley and Abbott created a huge hole, and Yannick Smith was not going to be stopped. But you knew that they were going to be a little creative in the red zone. They haven't been as efficient as they'd like to be. You love to see the Wildcat fake the jet sweep. Yannick Smith shows you just why he's as athletic and raved about in the low country as he is.
PAT is good. Trident Technical College touchdown. Your future, your college. Trident Technical College. Summerville, the stop and the score to start the second half. Yannick Smith highlights it. The Green Wave in control on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
I can do this. These kids make it look so easy. You can handle this.
Summerville in control over Stratford. A couple of young fans there happy about it. The fan cam sponsored by Fan Zone. All your sports teams gear under one roof. And we just can't say enough. These Summerville fans, they love their football. This is a community program.
Absolutely. And again, we talked about with what Coach McKissick was able to build here, the legend, but it's hurricane season here in the Low Country, but it doesn't seem to matter when it's rivalry week. Both sides loud and proud.
Summerville, an impressive scoring drive on their first possession of the third quarter to put this one to a 3-score game. Mason airs the deep kick, running room for, I think, Jones, might actually be Lloyd back there. It is. They've replaced Jones with Lloyd after the poor field position to start the third quarter. And Stratford will come back out on offense. Well, if you're Stratford, if you're the Knights, and you're Denny McDaniel, what are you trying to do to get back on track?
You know, it'll be interesting because, again, we had mentioned the importance of running the football and controlling the line of scrimmage, kind of getting that back into this game. But now down 3 scores, you look to see maybe Jalen Berry take a couple shots. Down 20, you don't need it all back at once. It doesn't have to come on one big play. But with that being said, you like to see maybe Berry go through the progression, slow things down. Maybe that offensive line gives him a time to take a shot downfield. We haven't heard a lot of number 28 Will Leaf or maybe Brendan Carter on the outside quite yet.
Berry, a little RPO, dumps it to Jones. Nice touch by him and picks up a first down. Lost the ball at the end of the player to keep his feet. Spun off a tackler. Kind of stepped on his own guy and picked up an extra 10 yards to pick up the Mr. Sparky first down. He just stepped right over a defender and kind of stepped right on him. to pick up an extra half dozen yards or so, and Stratford has its first down of the second half.
It's a huge play to kind of get the momentum rolling. It feels like they haven't been able to do it on first down quite yet.
Barry fakes it. Might have wanted to give that one to Lloyd because Lloyd had some running room and Barry had none. Upfield to shut it down was Matuzik, leading tackler on this Green Wave defense.
He's an impressive defensive end. I mean, when you, like we said, when you got 3 defensive linemen that are all over 240, but Matuzik moves really well.
Yeah, he raved about Matuzik and Cotterill, that defensive line, left side of that defensive line, his nose and defensive tackle. Barry has it go off the hands of his would-be receiver Martino. And just like that, this Stratford drive that started with the big play from Jones facing 3rd and long.
And again, that's it's a screen right off the jump, but it felt like the ball never really got out of the hand clean. It's a high throw. That screen to get a really good athlete out into open space, it needs to be clean, quick. And I think that's where Barry, if he's going to get this team back in, he needs to be a little bit quicker, more efficient here in the second half.
Keep an eye on Brett Mars. Tight formation for Stratford, 3rd and long. Low snap to Barry. Handles it, now rolls. Barry flips it upfield. There's Mars. First down catch and into Summerville territory. Every time I've looked up, he's slipped out. Outside of one little pop pass, he's slipped out and been open. And that time Barry found him, and it's a Mr. Sparky first down for the Knights.
Again, I don't think Brett Mars is going to beat anybody necessarily in a foot race. That's a big body that can take a big hit, but he's been the guy on 3rd down, and when Barry's able to get outside of the pocket, prolong the play, that's when the Knights are at their best on the offensive side.
Little toss, running to the short side, couple of yards maybe for the Knights. The pass on the touch there. Chase to the boundary, Steve Simpkins Jr. Haven't said his name a ton tonight. Probably should mention him more.
I know.
Talking to Ian Rafferty, Steve Simpkins Jr. is getting looks from the Ivy League. That tells you what life is ahead for that young man. Looking to play football potentially in the Ivy League.
Credit to our kicker, who's the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Ivy League does it all in the classroom and on the gridiron.
Running room for Lloyd, has those shoulders square and has the first down. I take that back. That's actually the pass. From a distance, really can't see 2, 3, 5, 7.
Here's the deal. They're really pretty white jerseys, but those numbers are a little tight. But let me tell you, it's a credit to that running back by committee. It's been 3 different guys that are really trying to get it done on the ground tonight.
DePass is the quicker of the two, and I could tell just that quick little step. But I had already said Lloyd. Too little, too late. Stratford looking for their first score here, late minutes, 3rd quarter. On the move, Summerville already has a touchdown run from Yannick Smith. Barry holding it a little too long. Barry being flushed and chased down and sacked. Matuzik from that left defensive end spot chased him almost to the sideline to get the sack.
It's a high motor set, right? You're setting up the screen. It's a fake, trying to get the guy to bite downfield. But again, when you've got that veteran leadership in the Summerville backfield, Keith Elmore Jr. had that play snuffed out, and he was kind of in help. That's a coverage sack. But again, a high motor play from Josh Matuzik. I mean, seriously, 6 foot 245. What are they feeding these kids?
2nd and long for Stratford, just trying to get chunk yardage to make 3rd down and 4th down manageable. Barry will keep it. He'll pick up maybe 4 or 5. They keep going at Matuzik. We keep saying his name.
Jalen Barry on the quarterback keeper.
And Barry took a shot. I think there might be a flag down in the middle of all that.
I love to see the respect there. Barry dapping up Matuzik. Said, man, that's a big shot. Not running your side of the field again. So he daps him up. But got to imagine at this stage in the game, we're in 4-down territory. Right? So what kind of play call do you run 3rd and 12 to make it maybe a more 4th and manageable? But Barry looks pretty shaken up here. Here it is. Got to show the love. A little sportsmanship in the low country. It's a rivalry game, but Matuzik, I ain't running at you again, is sure what Barry said.
So the backup quarterback will come in, Jakin Davis.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jakin Davis comes from an absolute incredible family. Both older brothers, both starting. Oh, what's the call on the field?
Yeah, flag. They're going to say the hit was on the quarterback late and to the head area. So it's 15 yards and a first down, and Jakin Davis gets his first action tonight.
Yeah, sorry to jump the gun because I'm excited because this guy comes from an absolutely prestigious background, family. He's an unbelievable kid with unbelievable parents, but both brothers, quarterbacks for the Knights, went on to play college baseball. Jakin, he's the next one up.
Quick touch, has it complete out in the flat. I think that's Martino on the catch, and he has a nice chunk, 6-7 yards on first down. And Stratford, their best drive of the night.
We're going to see Davis check out, but want to talk about hope and future in this program. This young man really slings the football. It's a freshman, and the rest of the guys know that he is the future of Stratford Knights football. With the pedigree instilled from his family, it's an incredible kid with an incredible background. Big hopes and futures for the Knights.
Jalen Berry back in, second down, call it 4. You can get a first down inside the 5-yard line, can the Knights. First trip inside the 10-yard line. Berry pulled it. Tough kid, lowers his head, puts it right in there against 4 or 5 defenders, and near first down yardage.
You know, we talked about it, Zeke. I know we got jumped the gun with the backup quarterback talk, but curious with that maybe almost targeting play. Berry does take a big shot. It looked like Morey got stuck in this, shoulder, but, the resiliency on the next play, he comes back out there. 3rd and short. I bet we see him try to take off again.
Another trip into the Boone Hall Fright Knights red zone.
Make your screams come true as the train rolls. Oh,
3rd and 1. Berry going to get under center for the first time tonight. Summerville really crowds the line, and he backs off. Little toss short side to Lloyd, and nothing doing. Green Wave had that one sniffed out. Simpkins Jr. there to make the stop.
We haven't said his name a lot tonight because when you've got a mobile quarterback, a lot of times what defenses will do, they'll run that rover. It's a QB spy, and Simpkins Jr. has been the guy all night that's kept Berry inside the pocket. On that play, he explodes out of the backfield.
Ike Rutherford there too, Simpkins Jr., Tim Miller, basically that entire linebacking crew. And on 4th and a couple, Denny McDaniel decides he's going to take some points. And Matt Haas will come out for a 25-yard field goal attempt from the left hash. Snap back. Hold is good. Davis put it down. And Haas knocks it through. Stratford's first points of the night. It's a field goal, but it gets the Knights on the board.
It's a really nice drive. Stratford, remember, started that drive dang near a 12-play possession. Started all the way back at their 9. A really nice drive to get points on the board. A little surprised at this point of the game to maybe not cut it to 2 touchdowns. Wanted to see 6, obviously, but to see points go up on the board, big for morale. But Stratford gets going, looking for a stop to try to get back into the game.
Reminder, coming up in our 4th quarter, we'll have the Cruise Chevrolet drive of the game. We'll also have the Holy City Heating and Air's coolest play of the game. TEC Equipment Rental player of the game, our Delta Force All-Stars cheer result. Will Lou Gray stop of the game. We got everything going on in the 4th quarter.
Shout out to the sponsors that make the dreams come true for these guys. I mean, truly an opportunity of a lifetime for these guys to strap it up under the lights, on TV, in front of friends and family. And now it's Wednesday night, little action almost.
Unintentional action, unplanned action, if you will.
I like what Trooper Bob had to say earlier. Hurricane's new. I like it a lot. The low country, you can expect usually a hurricane a year, and I guess the guys are locked in on the gridiron, not even thinking about school.
Kickoff comes up the near sideline and out of bounds, and Summerville will take it at the 35-yard line. Looking down on the sidelines for our main man, Bob, seeing what he's up to. I'll see him around.
Miss it. Sidelines, I could barely hear you. If it's not the band, the music playing, it sounds like a concert's here.
Couple couple of issues with Bob's mic jumping in and out on us there, but good to have Trooper Bob with us week in, week out, patrolling the sidelines throughout the Low Country.
We'll credit the technical difficulties with Bob to just how absolutely raucous John McKissick Field is tonight. I think maybe there's some wave frequency interruption.
Summerville declined the penalty, or actually took the re-kick option, and probably wish they hadn't. Field position ends up about the same as level, trying to go cross field as Pettiford, and it'll be 1st and 10.
We love a special teams play. It looks like that one was number 34, Dexter Harrison, the senior defensive back, getting downfield. Pettiford has been tough to tackle all night long, and that's a big-time play there from number 34, the senior, in a rivalry game. Make his impact found here on the special teams unit. It looks like Pettiford struggled a little bit. Maybe got him up around the neck, but a nice play because that guy has been tough to tackle all night.
Pettiford has a touchdown reception in the game. They'll say no flag on the hit. Initial thought might have been a face mask, but might have been more of a clothesline. And so Summerville back on offense. They've given up their first points of the night, but the defense has really controlled it.
Absolutely. And, you know, you talked about it going into that Sumter game. They ain't given up a touchdown really all year. It's been field goals. They've been wildly effective in the red zone. And how could you not be when your secondary is that long and athletic as they have been?
End around coming this way. I thought that was Smith again, but it's Caden Clark popping up out of bounds after a gain of about 5. Crew Chevrolet replay. That's technically a pass, so if the receiver drops it on that motion, it's incomplete. That's why it's not a handoff. You see more and more teams doing that at every level. Little jet sweep action, and
heck yeah.
If the receiver drops it, it's just incomplete.
Campbell McCurry, a huge fan of it. I mean, with the weapons he's got on the outside, a little jet sweep can turn to 20, 30 yards, and if he's trying to be the cool player of the game, what better way to do it than with a 2-yard shovel pass?
Wind is really starting to whip. We've got our windows open, and we're starting to really feel the breeze right in our face. Going straight across the field. Might be the final play of the third quarter here. McCurry straight ahead. Spells picks up near first down yardage.
Marquez Spells on the carry is near the first down.
He was met in the backfield. I believe it was number 41, Isaiah Bradley Williams again. It's a really nice play to wrap up. A superstar running back, Marquez Spells.
Wind starting to whip at John McKissick Field. Summerville right now on top of Stratford, 20-3 through 3 quarters on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet.
Stratford against the Green Wave.
Lock in and focus. All right, if you want to be successful, football, life, anything, you have to be able to block out distractions and focus. I need unbelievable focus tomorrow night. All right, this is something completely new. I played on Thursday before. I never played on a Wednesday before. All right, I never played on a Wednesday before. So you have 2 days to prepare. So today, if you'll lock in and focus on that task at hand, all right, and that is meeting Stratford. It's locking in on that specific focus tomorrow night. All right? It's putting all your energy and concentration into a specific task. All your energy and concentration into a specific task. The real successful people in life, the real successful people can lock out on this distraction.
Week number 6 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Crew Chevrolet. 3 quarters in the book at Summerville High School as Yannick Smith takes the direct snap and picks up the first down to start the 4th quarter. That's a West Shore home first down. West Shore Homes, America's most admired home remodeling brand.
You know, we've talked about this talent, and again, I feel like we can't mention enough how good this Summerville offensive line has been when you get those up-close shots, and you realize how big a right tackle Reggie Pinckney is for this team, and you see him run the right side a lot. It's not an accident when you see the big fella, number 78, there again, creating big holes on the outside.
Spells around the right end, another West Shore home first down. And right now, Summerville chunk yardage. And you have to think Ian Rafferty, defense is playing well, offense is executed at times, but has left some on the table. But right now you want that clock controlling drive. Go ahead and try to put this one to bed as the weather starts to get a little blustery and weird.
I think he's understanding this could be a learning opportunity for this offense as they enter conference play, region play next week. Their ability to score in that Boone Hall Fright Night red zone, right? They continue to only get 3. He's going to keep screaming because if they can execute and really punch the ball in the end zone and find 6, this team's going to be tough to beat. So he'd love to see 6 here on this drive.
Cartel Dawson up off the bottom of the pile. He upended Trey Green in what was a pretty heavy collision right there at the line of scrimmage. Green went flying for a couple of yards. Almost head over heels. 5-yard gain, though. 2nd down, 5 upcoming. 2 receivers either way for McCurry. Straight ahead, Green. Big seam there, has the first down, and down inside the 25-yard line. Trey Green picks up 15 yards, and Summerville on the move.
And again, it feels like at this stage of the game when you're run behind Jadario Lott and Reggie Pinckney, it's pioneered with that center Adam trailer. These holes are starting to get a little bit bigger as the Stratford defense has kind of got those hands on the hips.
Straight ahead, Green again. And I believe the umpire threw a flag, so this is right in the area of holding. Temporarily in the Boone Hall Fright Nights red zone.
Should I scream yet?
Nah, I can say the jury's still out on this one. I think holding was called. I think I back it up 10 yards. So Summerville back out of the red zone. Even though Green doing nice work on the ground.
This Summerville blueprint has been a lot of fun to watch tonight. You utilize those weapons through those first 3 quarters, and if you can wear the defense down, let's see where their conditioning's at here in the 4th quarter, run behind that massive offensive line, and then 34, Trey Green, nobody's going to want to tackle him late in the game. He's a big running back.
Play action for McCurry. Breaks free into the outside and chased out of bounds just past the line of scrimmage. All the way to the sideline to force him out. Is that our man Dawson again?
I think that was 53, Jamel Gadsden.
Jamil Gadsden all the way to the sideline. There's some young names on this Stratford defense that are playing a lot of snaps, and we're saying their name a lot.
You know, we've talked about inexperience, right? But it's that depth, right, that they've been able to throw at you. And as they grow within this program, there's no better guy to lead at the helm than Coach McDaniel, learning from the likes of the greatest, maybe if not named John McKishin, Ray Stackley, an all-time great South Carolina Hall of Famer. You know, Coach McDaniel's got the recipe to get this Stratford team on pat. That's another big hit. There's our boy right there. Here's the guy at the beginning of the game, number 31, Markel Holman. It's a big shot.
Straight ahead, Trey Green for a couple, and I think he's shaking up on the play. He's taken a couple of big licks and delivered a couple of big licks here. Whew. In the last couple of snaps, and that time I think the helmet of Markel Holman caught him right in the thigh. Final 10 minutes of the football game. The Summerville defense. Josh Matuzik, Keith Elmore Jr., Steve Simpkins Jr., Ike Rutherford, Jaden Penix, Michael Jenkins. We haven't said Jenkins' name tonight because they haven't even bothered to throw to his side of the field. That group has controlled it. Long throw from McCurry. Has it complete and out of bounds. Able to get it to Pettiford, and Pettiford gets back near the original line of scrimmage, maybe picks up a couple of steps and brings up third and manageable.
I know you're going to see a shot here late on the play from our guy Holcomb, and that can get a little scary over on those brick walls at the old romantic John McKissick Field, but glad to see he's okay getting up.
No flag on the hit, so must have still been on the playing surface, and that'll set up 4th down and 8. Had so many penalties and so many big gains back and forth. Both the scoreboard and the play-by-play guy lost track of what down it was.
All I know is the Scholar Athletes got a shot to really put an imprint on this game. We've seen a lot of our Scholar Athlete of the Week so far tonight.
Summerville took a little too long getting their kicking unit on the field, so a timeout asked for by the Green Wave. Probably not a bad little timeout there by Ian Rafferty.
Maybe it wasn't just us upstairs. I think they may have lost, count of the downs on the sideline as well.
Want to remind you, our Scholar Athletes of the game. First for Summerville, Mason Ayers. We recognize them at halftime. A captain of the wrestling team, varsity soccer team, 5.36 GPA. Mason Ayers has made a couple of field goals here tonight. And he's also our Scholar Athlete. David Ayler Law Office's Riders Law Group Scholar Athlete of the Week for Summerville. And on the other side for Stratford, hadn't played tonight, out with an injury. Ja'Kai Holmes Robinson, really missing him from the lineup. 3.86 GPA, all-state performer, elementary school volunteer is Holmes Robinson from Stratford. A couple of really strong student athletes with bright futures being honored. I want to thank David Ayler Law Offices for honoring our student athletes week in, week out here on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. "39-yard attempt, Ayers for his 3rd of the night. Just short. Didn't quite get all of that one, and Stratford gets the stop.
Could have gone for some hurricane-type wins just right there. 5.3 GPA is insane, though. I didn't know you could go that high.
Bob, you down there with us? Summerville in control. 20-3. What's the attitude around that defense every time they come off the field? Might be struggling with Bob's IFB a little bit right now. Stratford back out, 20-3. The Knights lead. The Green Wave leads. And Stratford looking to cut into it. If you're a defensive coordinator, this is kind of like, this is your dream game. You've lulled the other team to sleep. You've kind of taken the wind out of all the sails. Your defense has been in control that much, and that's where Summerville's been tonight.
Absolutely. And if you, Coach Rafferty, you're a guy that's got to be pretty stoked. A super prestigious career, the defensive end, played in the NFL, and he has built a strong defensive unit up front. On the back end, people are going to struggle to score points against this Green Wave defense throughout the remainder of the year.
Little toss coming this way is Jones, and he is swarmed under and stopped for a loss. You can pick a name right now on that Summerville defense, and they were probably there on the stop. Officially Tim Miller, but it was by committee.
Miller and Elmore kind of sealed the deal.
Flag down on the play. Jones is shaken up a little bit. Trying to figure out what the officials saying to Ian Rafferty right now. I think he's asking the players to get away from Jones. But they're having an extended conversation. Can remind you that all of the Low Country is in action tonight in high school football. And I want to remind you to join ABC News 4 Scotty Eisberg and Natalie Spalla on later on this evening. It's Friday Night Rivals, but it's Wednesday night. We all know why. Tonight at 11:05, scores and highlights from throughout the Low Country. Obviously, much of the high school football in the area moved up 48 hours. A couple of games moved to Monday in the area, but a full slate of scores and highlights tonight at 11:05 on Friday Night Rivals. Long week off for Friday Night Rivals. I know my voice is excited about it.
There you go, man. I know I'll be tuned into those two and the rest of the Channel 4 crew as they maintain that hurricane coverage. They'll be all over the Low Country, and they buckle up for a heck of a week. I know you and I are excited to buckle down and watch a whole lot of football this weekend.
That's about what the week is. That's about all there is to it.
Oh, yeah.
Please, power don't go out. Please, power don't go out. All right, 3rd down and 12 for Stratford. They need the 30-yard line. Barry with it, takes off. Barry gets a block, looking for the corner, not going to get there. It'll bring up 4th down. Flag comes in late. There's another flag in live game action. We have a Knight shaken up.
Laundry all over the field.
Marino now banged up. And he's hobbled kind of at the far hash.
He's grabbing at that ankle as this game is going on. This is going to be another. Martino's been a guy that's really been all over the field on both sides of the ball for the Knights, and this would be a huge loss for them as we hope that he's able to get off the field under his own power. But as this game's progressing, it kind of feels as if we watched that Stratford defense bend and not break. They were able to hold the 3, but it just looked like a lot of hands on hips, and I think it's a really testament to what Summerville's been able to do on offense, been able to kind of get what they've wanted, and it almost feels like this Summerville defense has gotten better as the game has gone on.
Upcoming games on the slate for us here on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Next week we're in Mount Pleasant, Berkeley at Wando, the Stags and the Warriors. October 14th, Cane Bay travels to Goose Creek. A couple of weeks from now, Fort Dorchester at West Ashley. If I remember off the top of my head, our final game of the year is Oceanside at Timberland. We're here on My TV Charleston. The next 4 Friday nights, rare Wednesday night. We hope we don't have another Wednesday night game this season.
We have multiple fouls on the defense.
We have a block in the back. Defense.
Explanation coming forth. 2 fouls on Summerville on the play. And I think they will both be enforced.
Both penalties will be administered. Results of first down.
Exactly what's going to happen. So a 25-yard penalty basically on Summerville, and the ball will go out near midfield, and Stratford will have a little bit of life here with 8:09 to play.
Maybe arguably Stratford's biggest play from the line of scrimmage so far, much needed late in the game. Down 17 with just 8 to go. You hate to count them out because of this rivalry game. You never want to count anybody out, but Stratford's going to need points. They're going to need them quickly.
Shout out to our production crew and everyone involved this week in pulling this off on the short week. Really not even 48 hours notice. Thanks to you for filling in, jumping up for us this week on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
Pleasure. Truly the crew, though, with the hurricane coming in and craziness around, for everyone to be able to step up and put on an unbelievable event tonight.
Well, the football coaches and the athletic directors and the principals had to have the discussion first, and then once it all started happening, and then we have the extra sort of figured out with staff and production and so on and so forth. And there's an out-of-town element involved in our production that we had to include. And everyone came together in less than 48 hours to make it happen. It's been a beautiful night for football here at Summerville High School, one of the great settings in all of high school football. A little dump pass near first down yardage.
That may have been Jalen Berry's best play of the night. He's got Elmore diving in on him, coming up from that free safety spot, looking to lay a big hit, and he stays calm, cool, and collected, delivers a strike to, I believe it's going to be number 9, a sophomore, Freddie Alston. Haven't heard from Alston quite yet tonight. A couple injuries, guys going down. He's able to step up in a big way to convert on a first down.
It's another West Shore home first down. And Stratford on the move as we wind under 8 minutes. Berry wanted to toss it and had nowhere to go. That one looked a little busted. Matuzik upfield. Simpkins Jr. Julius Brown. Stop me if you've heard those names before tonight.
It just feels like Matuzik's in the backfield more times than not, you know. And it's not a testament to what Stratford's got up front because they've been really good, but a swim move from Matuzik has been wildly effective.
Summerville on their way potentially to improving to 5-1 on the year. We'll talk more about that in just a second. Barry with DePass in the backfield with him. 2 receivers right, 1 to his left. Fakes the give, dumps it out into the flat. Has it complete. Picks up about 5.
Smooth.
I'll be honest, if this was 5 quarters, I'm not sure my voice would make it.
Come on. It's a team effort. I would have picked it up. I got
23 overtimes.
Let's roll.
Yeah. So 3rd and we'll give DePass, it looks like everything that he got. Say he stepped out a little sooner, and 3rd and about 8, but you have to think 4th down territory for the Knights.
3rd and long, and they bring in the freshman. He's got that clean arm slot. He's been really good in the passing game this year. Coach McDaniel giving him an opportunity to step up on 3rd and long.
Davis back in there at quarterback. He fakes the give and completes it out into the flat again. Basically the same look as we just saw a second ago.
And I think Coach McDaniels is going to leave him out on 4th down. I'm telling you, everything that Davis does, it's smooth, it's calm, it's calculated. And I'm telling you, we saw him during pre-games, rolling out to the left, rolling to the right, on the move, in the pocket. Davis has got a super bright future. It's a big-time arm. He started on the varsity baseball team as an 8th grader. He's got a bright future, and Coach McDaniel, seeing how he fares in the rivalry game, already coaching it up back there for him.
Alston another catch on that last play, and this one blown dead as looked like maybe the left tackle pulled out just a little early, and it is a false start.
Go for it.
That'll make it 4th down and 8 for the Knights. Green Wave fans, you know what to do.
Hadn't even put that together tonight.
How did we
miss that? Yeah.
All night long. I'm sure he's gotten the joke 100 times. We're not going to joke about National Weather Services, but that was on a platter for us.
4th down. Davis slipped a little, hit hard at the end of the play as he's dropped and sacked, and Summerville will take over. All right, let's talk about Summerville. 4-1 on the season. The tests are still ahead. We know the key date at the end of the schedule. Stall next week, West Ashley and Ashley Ridge. Then they make the trip down to Old Fort Dorchester. It is a war every year. Fort's had some struggles here early in the season. Summerville's taking a step up. That one's going to be fantastic.
Football program prestige of the past, it's Summerville. It's Coach McKissick, the 10 state championships. But in the last 2 decades, it's been all Fort all the time. But I'm telling you, if you're a football fanatic and you want to go ahead and take a look at Division I, it feels like college lineups up front of that offensive line. You're not going to find 2 bigger offensive lines in the country than what you're going to find with Fort and Summerville. That is going to be an absolute battle in the trenches.
Just kind of getting the replay with Ian Rafferty and kind of what has happened with Fort the last 2 years. Summerville was very banged up a season ago. Played Fort tough, 2-touchdown football game. 2 years ago, it was the thriller. Summerville led by a couple of touchdowns late. Fort came back. Summerville had a chance to win it late, went for 2, didn't get it. They have been classics year in, year out. And 2 of the better football teams in the Low Country. Both of them have that date circled 3 weeks from now.
It'll absolutely determine where that region ends up. But Zoltan Osborne's obviously the quarterback that everyone's talking about in the state. McCurry, he's going to have something to say about that. But this Summerville secondary tonight has been so wildly impressive. Whether it's been in the run game, right? Elmore kind of stepping up, filling that A gap, making tackles on the run game. But in the passing game, they just look really tough to play against. And Osborne's going to have his hands full with the Green Wave defense.
3rd down 2. Summerville trying to basically milk this clock down. Smith will do just that. Gets around the corner, has the 1st down. West Shore home 1st down. Into the secondary. Now time for our player of the game. TEC player of the game. Josh Matuzik from Summerville is going to be our defensive player of the game. He has been everywhere. Jalen Berry going to have some nightmares thinking about him. TEC Equipment Rental player of the game. This season, End Zone Scissor Lift is provided by TEC Equipment Rental. We rent the good stuff. Josh Matuzik has had himself a night. And so is the Summerville Green Wave defense. McCurry wants to take a shot deep. Smith has a step, but can't get to it, and that'll bring up second down. The Will Lou Gray stop of the game. Jalen Berry, a little toss, and the Summerville defense able to hold Stratford to a field goal as they threatened in the third quarter. The Will Lou Gray stop of the game. Will Lou Gray never stopped learning.
You know, we raved and on about the Summerville talent on the outside, but it's only fitting that Matuzik and this defense gets a ton of credit for what they were able to do in this rivalry game tonight.
Four and a half minutes to play. Long throw out wide from McCurry. And missed high into the middle of the field. Lucky to get away with that one. That's the one that sometimes gets intercepted when you miss that shot upfield. Key drive of this football game, the drive of the game tonight, Summerville to start the third quarter.
You know, again, like we said, McCurry, his objective, get the ball to his guys in open space, and they're going to take care of the rest. We saw an absolute beautiful night from the stud running back, number 18, Marquez Spells. But again, what they were able to do coming out of halftime, be able to control that line of scrimmage that we talked about was going to be so crucial. Yannick Smith out in open space tonight. Quintrell Pettifer with the touchdown. Again, McCurry has done an unbelievable job of facilitating the ball to all the weapons around.
Crew Chevrolet drive of the game. Crew Chevrolet on Rivers. You've got a friend in the car business. Ball dumped into the flat and incomplete as McCurry. And our coolest play of the game tonight. First touchdown of the night. Nice throw and catch there by Campbell McCurry. Nice throw by Campbell McCurry, finding Quintrell Pettiford to open the football game for Summerville. Pettiford, the touchdown reception. That's our Holy City Heating and Air coolest play of the game. We provide solutions for every season. Just in case Summerville ran right down the field and into this one in a hurry, went ahead and knocked down all our superlatives. But instead, the Stratford defense holds. And a timeout asked for by Summerville, and we're going to take the break with them. Green Wave defense has controlled it tonight. Summerville up 17 late. Friday night rivals driven by Crew Chevrolet.
Not only working with the second largest insurance agency in the world, you get the local flair and flavor of being able to work with the local agent.
Possession or something that's like the
I opened that bag and I go, where's the trophy?
Runs a business, went on to be a successful politician and state treasurer for the state of South Carolina. One of the most important things I learned from him was always maintain.
That'd be just my luck. I tell you to put it in there and some little kid walks off with it.
20-3, Summerville leads. Stratford will get the ball back and have at least a chance to pull off a miracle, but a three-possession game with 4.5 minutes to go. And this Green Wave defense controlled this one here tonight. Nearly blocked, fortunate to get it away, bouncing inside the 10, and touchdown inside the 2, and I think Stratford will have to go on offense there. So the Knights will start backed up.
A really nice special teams play there. We talked about him. He's the senior, Steve Simpkins Jr. Really nice play there in that third phase. He's a really impressive athlete, man. He's been able to do it on both sides. You talked about wanting to do it at the Ivy League level. Does it in the classroom, does it on the gridiron. But being able to do it on both sides, right, on the defensive side and in special teams, it's going to make him a really attractive prospect at the next level.
So Stratford backed up to start this drive. Have to think we'll see Jake and Davis for the Knights. It's been a good night for Jalen Berry. Made some plays, done some positive things, but the Summerville defense just a little too much, and he's going to get a little bit of a break to close out this football game. And Davis, play action, immediately takes a shot. Step too far. Not a lot of separation up that right sideline. Looking for his receiver, Jalen Berry. Is that Berry over there, wide receiver?
There you go, man.
It is.
We told you.
Swapping it out. Just realized that. He's on the far side of the field, and we don't have broadcasting glasses or anything like that.
We talked about it, though, man. The college level is, because of the athleticism, Barry's become a guy that they may see even transition to the outside. Still, a weapon at the quarterback spot, but love what Coach McDaniel's doing. Instilling the confidence in Davis and allowing Barry maybe to try something out on the outside.
Quick throw. Davis working Barry. Has it complete. Gets away from one and then bumped out of bounds late. You're right about that brick wall on the far side of the field. Picks up the first down, another West Shore home first down. I said Barry. That's not actually Barry this time. It's Will Aliff.
That's a sweet little move, Aliff. Not wanting to go out of bounds, maybe stop the clock. He says, heck no, I want the first down and some more. Doesn't Davis just deliver the ball smoothly, man? Everything is crisp. There's a lot of swag in this freshman's game.
Another quick throw to Aliff, complete. That'll be a couple of yards. So Stratford out of the shadow of their own goal line. And moving the ball here in the closing minutes of this football game. A lot of new faces on the field for Summerville. Want to make sure we say all of those. Elmore Jr. still in there. Woodfield's still in there. Jalen Martin said his name some tonight, getting some extra reps at safety.
I love it. The freshman quarterback getting to go up against some really impressive ones for the Summerville team.
Inside give, first down yardage. Spun down is DePass after a gain of almost 10. Another West Shore home first down. Here's a look at the David Ayler office's replay.
Found that hole, stuck the foot in the ground, cut it back. Another first down. And again, you're down 23. This game pretty much out of reach, but the confidence to go into conference play with the freshman at the helm maybe gives you some ideas on what you want to do moving forward, because right now Davis looks super under control. The moment's not too big. It's a huge rivalry game, his first experience playing in this game. He's probably watched his brother Josh, his brother JD, quarterback the Knights in this game close to 8 times, it feels like. Davis, it's his turn. He's at the helm. As they move into region play, it'll be curious if they put some packages together with Barry on the outside and Davis, maybe the better thrower, the opportunity to sling it around the ballpark.
Stratford trying to put something together here, kind of on a positive note to finish this one out. Summerville defense is controlled throughout. Deep shot, Davis just a step out of reach for Aliff. Jenkins was running with him. Also Rylan Mitchell over there. That'll bring up third down and 9. Hurricane Ian beginning to make his presence known with the breeze here about 20 miles north of downtown Charleston, starting to rip. And we're really going to start to feel it when we wake up in the morning. Third and 9 for the Knights. Tight end Mars swaps to the far side of the field. Toss sweep. Out wide to pass running room. Gets near first down yardage. Going to come up a couple of steps short. And it'll be fourth down for Stratford.
That play call clearly because it's 4-down territory for him. But you mentioned earlier in the game, the pass may be the quickest of all three of the Stratford backs. He really exploded the outside. He was able to beat Tim Miller, who's been an absolute brick wall at linebacker for the Green Wave tonight.
Fourth and about 4. Let's say the Knights need the 40. Low snap for Davis. Takes off with it. Breaks the tackle. Going to get close, but going to get slung down a yard short. And another stop for the Green Wave defense. Stop for Julius Brown. And here's our cheer of the night. The results are in. Stratford, your winner. Delta Force All-Stars cheer of the game.
Huge shout out to both cheer squads tonight.
Friday night rivals cheer of the night, proudly cheering on the Low Country's high school sports Delta Force All-Stars. And now Summerville back out offensively, just trying to put this one to bed.
All right, Zeke, you mentioned it earlier in the game. You're going to have to remind me. We're putting to bed thunder and lightning. What was the word?
It was like deer and battering ram or something.
I love it. Because Trey Green is absolutely a battery ram.
Good-looking kid. Big, strong.
I'm telling you, it's like they can beat you in a lot of different ways. They can beat you on the outside with the plethora of talent they've got out there, a whole lot of speed. But if they want to slow it down and beat you up front, they've got the size at O-line to do it. And obviously the running backs do it as well, as Green lays a huge lead block, clears some space.
Pettiford running out wide, picks up near first down yardage. Will depend on the spot. They say he stepped out just a couple yards short, so third down. About 4 for the Green Wave. Clock stopped with Pettiford out of bounds. Short week to get ready for Friday night rivals. We had a little less than 48 hours to put this together and make it happen this week. Already had the game picked, just had to bump it up 2 days. Wednesday night version of Friday night rivals driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Direct snap to Smith, first down yardage. Down just shy of the red zone. And Summerville, if they choose to do so, can deal it out.
Victory formation for the Green Wave. Yannick Smith, it felt like in that Wildcat scheme all night long, was able to get whatever he wanted. A really impressive showing from the Green Wave, but I can say firsthand, I understand what the rivalry is all about now. It's an incredible showing from both squads tonight.
Summerville will improve to 5-1. Their lone loss at Sumter earlier this season. Stratford will fall to 1-4. Direct snap. Spells picks up a couple of yards. Summerville might have one more crack at it. Cable McCurry impressive tonight. He was named a team captain for the season today. And he's made the most of it tonight, operating this offense. Victory formation for Summerville. McCurry kneels it. And that will do it. Our final 20-3 Summerville tops Stratford here tonight on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Beginning to end, the defensive side for the Green Wave. This Summerville defense, very impressive.
Absolutely. Like we mentioned, the size up front. Matuzik was our player of the game tonight. AC cool player of the game. But I got to say, man, that secondary is going to be an absolute problem all year for opponents in that Summerville Green Wave region.
Summerville a winner tonight. Impressive beginning to end. They take down Stratford. Back with the trophy presentation on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.
have to cue me.
Will do. I have to cue him, so cue me. Turn, face them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, stay right there and it's working. Okay. Mic check again, Bob.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They're singing, so.
Do you have to go back up there or no?
What?
You have to go back up there after this? Or
no.
Week number 6 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet in the books. Summerville a winner in what is just a great place to watch a high school football game. 20-3 over nearby rival Stratford. The Green Wave come out a winner. Reminder coming up weeks ahead on Friday Night Rivals. Next week, next Friday, not Wednesday, we're at Wando High School in Mount Pleasant. The Berkeley Stags come to town 2 weeks from Friday. Cane Bay at Goose Creek. Fort Dorchester at West Ashley. All those games start at 7:30 p.m. here on MyTV Charleston. Impressive effort tonight, especially by the Summerville defense and Josh Matuzik.
Absolutely, man. Again, Matuzik set the tone up front. It's a high-motor player, constantly getting after the quarterback, disrupting that run game. But again, we talked about that Summerville secondary. That might be the key and the propeller that takes them into a big-time state championship run this year. How about this right here? A little homecoming proposal deal?
That's fun.
Give him the player of the game.
Creative. That man knows what he's doing.
Give that guy a college game day. That's an unbelievable sign. We respect the crap out of that creativity.
Let's go down to the sidelines. Trooper Bob is with the winning coach, Ian Rafferty.
Coach, you didn't get a full week to prepare. The game came to Wednesday night, but you still pulled it out 23. How proud are you of your team?
I'm really proud. We talked about before the game, just find a way to win. 2 days preparation. These guys did a great job. A little sloppy in the game, but you can expect that with 2 days. But really proud of them. We kind of controlled the whole game. Did a great job.
Congratulations. Here's your Friday Night Rivals trophy.
Wednesday night Rivals.
Wednesday night. Friday night on Wednesday night.
I don't know if it mattered whether or not it was Friday night or Wednesday night that Summerville Green Wave defense came to play. Tonight's trophy presentation sponsored by All-American Awards, helping Charleston recognize excellence since 1993. Jack enjoyed it tonight.
It was an absolute pleasure, man. I get the hype, man. This is one of the best rivalries with two of the most tradition programs in the state, South Carolina, set with the tone of Coach McKissick. Pleasure to be here tonight, Zeke.
That's it for Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. Promotional consideration tonight to all of our sponsors. Thanks to them for making this happen. Our student athletes from around the Low Country, high school football athletes, bands, cheerleaders, all appreciate what our sponsors do week in, week out. Our player of the game, once again, Josh Matuzik. Good look at that young man who worked hard tonight. Our player of the game from Summerville, that defensive end was everywhere, made life very tough on Stratford throughout the evening. Once again, we'll be next week in Mount Pleasant, week number 7 of Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet. The Warriors of Wando play host to the Berkeley Stags. For Jack DeLong, Sean, Trooper Bob, I'm Zeke Beam. So long from Summerville High School, 20-3. The Green Wave win it. We'll see you next week on Friday Night Rivals, driven by Cruz Chevrolet.